Mm. You know, what's happening? We are in the building, man. Bright and early. Bright and early. Bright and early. Bright and early. Shout out to Gouch Merlot. He said the judge will give him time served. Yikes. Yikes. A hero in the hood. What up, Nation? Some man, 1 trillion dollars. Oh man, it ain't that bad. It ain't that bad. We ain't winning that much. I mean, it depends on how you look at it, though. Everybody hit the like button, man. This is the yeah, man. Everybody hit that like button, man. Smash that like button. This is the courtroom, man. This is outside the courtroom, man. This is where everything went down.
Good morning, everybody. There's not much I can say with the judge.
This is the prosecutor.
They own it. You got to.
Can you come this way or?
Come closer. Sure. Come closer.
Okay, that's fine, right there.
All right, there's not much I can say. The judge has made the call, and so what's important is what's next. Frisco PD will be finishing up their investigation. They will submit the case to my office. We will review it. And
So the Frisco PD is going to do the investigation. That's interesting. Usually when it's a... Here's the thing. Had the white kid killed the black kid, who thinks that the FBI or the DOJ would have continued the investigation? I want to know if the white kid had killed the black kid. Press 1 if you think they would have brought in the DOJ or the FBI. Because this is strange that Frisco, with all this attention on this case, Frisco, they're gonna still let little Frisco do it. Little old Frisco PD. Little old Frisco PD gonna handle the case. That's crazy. Little old Frisco PD. He said, Eric Holt. You say 90% of sons will defend son murderers as long as the victim is white. Shit, the victim ain't got to be white. The victim do not have to be white, bro. The victim do not have to be white.
And ultimately present it to a grand jury. And so that's what's next. That's pretty much all I can say right now. We do our speaking in as far as the facts go in the courtroom. Many of you were in there, so you understand what was said. Um, but this is a terrible tragedy for our entire, not just Frisco, but Collin County community. One family has suffered a permanent loss. It's the most unnatural thing for a parent to lose their child. It's permanent, it's profound, it's certainly premature, and it's the hardest thing that I think a human being can go through is to lose their child. The Anthony family has had a different kind of loss, but not a loss nonetheless. The judges made her call, and we look forward to continuing the process and looking forward to reviewing all the facts of the case that Frisco PD is coming up with and presented to a grand jury. What we are concerned about as prosecutors is justice, truth, and accountability. And so we will go where the facts lead us. Thank you so much.
Could you speak about the security and the vitriol and just the safety even for the judge and your officer?
Well, this has definitely rocked our entire community. And so it has struck a nerve in the community.
This is the prosecutor.
It's hard for everybody to be level-headed at a time like this. So that's where we come in. It's our job to be level-headed, to be fact-based, and to follow the truth wherever it leads. Thank you so much.
And what is your title? For those that don't know.
District Attorney.
District Attorney. Thank you.
Sorry.
District Attorney, and I'd like to say.
He didn't take no questions.
How you doing, Bob?
Doing good. You didn't come up this far north usually, do you?
Man, I had to come for this, baby.
Everywhere.
He didn't take no questions.
No, and then who else was waiting on? That's all.
Well, the families are all still inside as far as we can tell, unless they get them out the back. They don't usually do that, but they got cars out here. So,
But I think the lawyer was supposed to come up here and say something.
yeah, but they told us they have this weird rule. We can only interview the DA inside the lobby. Everybody else has to be interviewed
Oh,
outside.
so now we gotta go out.
So
Okay.
that's why everybody's packing up now. So
Okay.
when they come out and say anything, we got to do it out there.
Okay. Okay.
Judge Tucker, and she sat down real serious.
So we gotta go outside, guys. For this. How you been doing? You been all right? This your neck of the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just lived 15
Here we go.
but we don't know when it will be. Oh, here they come.
Remember this dude? How the fuck did he get to just be? Now he's going to be one of these leaders we going to have to see every time. He done hijacked this joint, man. The what nigga? What was that joint? Nagayan? Nagayan. Yeah, Nagayan done hijacked this joint, man. He trying to become a leader, man. He trying to become one of the leaders, man. This dude don't do nothing, man. Dude a reverend somewhere. He just jumped in the mix.
We can't do this in here. We have to go out.
What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? What's up with? Okay. This is Karmelo Anthony, lawyer. Come on with.
Right here on that crowd.
Right up front.
Go ahead and mic you up.
Yeah, Miles, go ahead, lock the doors, man. Lock the doors, man. Draw the drapes. So he got a white lawyer. Karmelo family, they raised all that money from the black community to hire a white lawyer. Now listen. You know now black people gonna say, well, you know, they had to hire a white lawyer. Cause it's Texas, man. It's Texas. And you know what I'm saying? You can't get no justice in Texas with no black lawyer. Salute to Alexander Byrne. He said, did you hear about the Sun woman who murdered her glider husband, buried him in the back garden, and continued to claim his bitch? Nah, man. That must have happened in England. Yeah. Listen, send that to me. Yeah, I'm treating my narcolepsy. I'm treating my narcolepsy, man. He said, "Gotta fight white with white." He said, "You gotta fight white with white." Yeah, man, you gotta fight white with white, man. See, man, this nigga's raised all his money. And then all these niggas standing around, all these jive ass turkey niggas standing around. This nigga right here, he can't even speak a complete sentence. This nigga, my son is 1 year old and he speaks better English than this nigga, man. My son come in the kitchen like, that nigga, this nigga mess. But he the real winner right here. He just hopped up in the scene. He ain't know the family from a can of paint. He hopped on the scene last week and made a speech. Now he up here and standing next to the white lawyer. That shit crazy how these motherfucking black leaders just pop up out of nowhere and shit. Salute to him though, man. He ran with that shit.
Y'all ready? Get that closer, Billy. Are you ready? 5 more seconds. 5 more seconds. Okay. Good. Everybody good? Every Texan has the right to defend themselves when they reasonably fear for their life.
So now he feared for his life. God damn. That nigga feared for his life. That's what we doing. Hey man, this is the defense. This is the defense, man. He ain't say great bodily harm. He said that nigga Karmelo thought he was gonna die. When that dude asked the league, Karmelo thought he was gonna die. But you know what though? Actually, I can understand that. Because Karmelo ended up killing him. So Karmelo was probably like, shit, I'm ready to kill some shit. So when the interaction began, he probably was like, yeah, man, maybe this dude like me. Maybe this guy's like me, because I'm ready to kill some shit.
Self-defense is a protection that applies to each and every one of us. There are two sides to every story. And Karmelo is a 17-year-old kid and an excellent student. He is the captain of his track team. He is the captain of his football team. And prior to this, what was on his mind was what college he was going to go to. This is a tragedy all the way around for both families. Rushing
to judgment. You know, trial by public perception and trial by media is not how we ensure justice is done. We are confident that after a full investigation, that the truth will come out. Thank you.
Mike, you took umbrage with the state's assessment that this was simple and brutal. Why so?
Well, the fact of the matter is, like I said, there's two sides to every story, and we've only heard one side. You know, in any criminal case, the police investigate, and the defense is always far behind that. And so it is a one-sided investigation to this point, and even that investigation is still ongoing. So to say that it happened this way or that way is just not accurate at this point. All of the facts are going to come out, and
that's why I talked about earlier. When I asked everybody, I said, press 1 if you think if the white kid had killed the black kid, they would have brought in the DOJ or the FBI. This lawyer, he only has to go up against Frisco PD. He only has to beat a case that's being built by Frisco PD. If this was a little nigga, if the nigga had gotten killed by a white boy and they brought in the Department of Justice, now you have to beat a case being built by the Department of Justice. So that's a whole nother ball game. All this dude got to do is beat little Frisco PD. Shout out to Amazing Grace. This Grace, man. He says, I didn't even know I was gifted a membership. Must be that Doug Chunks. Shout out to the channel legend. Yeah, Douglas Chunks. Yeah. Renew your memberships every month, too. They're going to ask you, hey, would you like to renew your membership? That's when you say, yeah, it ain't but $3.99, man. $3.99 for a membership. Y'all can renew your memberships that were gifted to y'all. Support the channel. Listen, man, I'm going to tell you like this, man. It is what it is. This white lawyer has a better chance because the black dude killed the white dude. And all he got to do is go up against the local police department and their investigative tools. If that white kid had killed that black kid, they would have brought in the DOJ, the FBI, the CIA, NCIS, everybody. And you would have had to go up against a case being built by all those organizations, all those agencies.
That's why our system of justice requires that we keep our minds open and we let the facts come out as they are after a full investigation.
Is your client going to be able to make bond and get out today?
I anticipate that he will be able to make bond. I can't speak to how quickly that will go. Funds, in the funds that have been raised are not quick to come out. And then, there's obviously a process to.
Well, they hired you and you're not free. Press 1. They hired you and you're not free. You're one of the best lawyers down there. Let's stop acting like this family, these people are poor. Like this family they got to do a fish fry to fucking buy them a suit so you can go to court. Nah, man. Let's stop this, man. They got you and you cause a grip.
To the release process once bond is posted.
The big question that a lot of people have is why was this young man armed on school property?
That's an understandable question, but it's not something that, frankly, we're prepared to even go into. This is something that I know the police and the prosecution want to get it right and want to have a full and fair investigation, and so do we. So it would be irresponsible for me or them at this point to start saying this is what happened, this is why, anything. So I understand that's a big question. It's going to be a big question, and it's something that we will find out, and we ask that the public, as hard as it is, withhold judgment and let both of these families have justice. That let both of these young men, the Metcalf family and the memory of who they've lost, but also Karmelo, have a fair and full justice process.
How has he?
Ultimately, your feeling on the reduction of this bond? You feel it's fair?
Yeah, I feel it's fair. Bond, as the judge said, is not supposed to be an instrument of oppression. It's not supposed to keep people in jail. It's not supposed to punish. It's supposed to ensure that a person shows up to court, complies with all conditions, and it's supposed to keep the community safe. So this is a large and substantial bond, and the judge has, I think, rightly imposed reasonable conditions that will ensure both Karmelo and the Anthony family's safety, but also the safety of the community.
What was Carmelo's reaction today? He didn't seem very talkative toward you. And how has jail, I guess, been so far for this teenager? And is he on suicide watch or anything like that?
I honestly can't speak to Karmelo's reaction because I was so focused on the hearing and what was going on and what the judge was saying. I think we have to all remember Karmelo is a 17-year-old kid who's never been in any sort of trouble before. If you can just put yourself in his shoes, this is a scary, bewildering process, and I can't even imagine what was going through his head, just as I'm sure I can't imagine what was going through the heads of the Metcalf family. So this is something that is new to all of them and incredibly trying.
So for people who want to know, why were you selected? I mean, what is your experience? I mean, you had to be really good.
I can't speak as to why I was selected. In any case, it's important to have an attorney that you connect with. That
they're like, come on, bro, let's wrap this shit up. Let's get out of here.
That you feel has the right amount of experience and the right investment in the case. And I'm not speaking to anybody else. I just know that that.
I mean, you a white guy. Why would you help a black kid, man? Racism, man.
That's important.
Just how unsafe does this family feel? You mentioned it multiple times.
Yeah, I mean, look, I can't. I'm not going to speak for them at this point. But I think you can imagine the press coverage on this case has been immense, and the online and public reaction has been immense. And unfortunately, as is common in our culture, especially lately, the vitriol and the public reaction, one way or the other, has been intense. And threats and talk of race war and all kinds of insanity isn't good for, obviously, the Anthony family. It's not good for the Metcalf family. It's not good for the peace and safety of our community. So, I would ask, and I know both sides would ask, that the temperature on this be allowed to come down.
So why haven't they shown the knife? Let's see what Mammie talking about.
What was his stipulations?
It's a $250,000 reduction to $250,000. Ankle monitor, house arrest. He has to report to the judge even if he goes out the door. And anything that he does outside of that, he violates his bond.
Bond.
And he have to stay off of internet. He can't go on social media. But they're not going to violate him. Here's the thing. No matter what he does, it doesn't matter. They're not going to violate him for breaking his for breaking the terms of his bond condition. They never do. They never violate sons for breaking the terms of their violation. You got as long as you don't kill somebody while you on pre-trial release or probation, you good. They don't violate. We've done so many cases. We done hundreds of cases about this, especially in Texas, Houston, Harris County. We done so many cases. Let's see, man. Let's see what people saying about this. Reactions to this Carmelo Anthony thing, man. Let's see some reactions, man. Everybody hit the like button, man. Smash the like button, man. We need to get out of this algorithm, man. Everybody hit the like button. Give me 150 likes, man. I'll drop the link, man. 150 likes, I'll drop the link, man. Let's see this guy, man.
Black people across the country who, by the way, have the lowest median income of any other group in this country, by the way, that seem to take the choice and make the choice to dig into their wallets and to shell out money for a young Black teenager that killed another teenager. This is what we glorify in Black culture. This is what people stand up for in Black culture. And I'm tired of people being too afraid to say what is really the truth about what's going on in that community. Now, I've been all over this on TikTok and on Instagram, and I don't really get into too many of the comments, but what I've been seeing from a lot of these Black people that are in the comment sections, writing against me, like calling me all the names that they always call me, is that they're saying, well, Karmelo Anthony, like that white kid shouldn't have been an aggressor. You don't get up in people's face, and you don't get up in people's face like that. So what you are telling me is that if somebody gets into your face and if somebody is aggressive towards you, then that gives you the right to kill them. It's completely absurd. But again, it's a lack of accountability culture. Blacks in this country take zero accountability. It is a no accountability culture, because only a no accountability culture can exist like this. Only a zero accountability culture.
I got some comments from some of the people, man. Let's see some of the comments, man. This is on Facebook, man. Poor Carmelo Anthony, man. Poor Carmelo, man. Poor Carmelo. I'm talking about the real Carmelo. His name is forever going to be. His name is going to forever be linked to that. His name is forever going to be linked. Like Carmelo Anthony, this Carmelo Anthony going to be more famous than the other Carmelo Anthony. Wow. Teen killer. See, Tariq Nasheed, man. Oh my God. A suspected white supremacist named Austin Metcalf pictured with his twin, allegedly demanded honor student Karmelo Anthony give up his seat, like it was the Jim Crow era. Karmelo defended himself from the alleged threat. The Daniel Penny case set this precedent. Oh my God, man. So he's a suspected white supremacist. He's a suspected white supremacist now. We got to figure out, man, if Austin was really a white supremacist, man. Wow. That judge, you knew that judge was going to, listen, that judge, you knew that judge was going to give him that low bond. That's Texas, man. Texas is like that, man. Texas is like that. Texas is like that, yo. Texas is like that. That's how they do that in Texas. They give you bond. They give you bond if you kill somebody in cold blood. If somebody cut you off and you point a gun out the window and shoot them, Texas will give you a bond. A lot of people think Texas. A lot of people have a lot of misconceptions about Texas, man. A lot of misconceptions about Texas, man. Texas is nothing like what people think it is. Or the laws would be. The laws are nothing like what people think they would be like. Texas is very liberal.
Now, guys, I'm going to be real with y'all. White people deserve some credit today. Because why in the hell is Karmelo Anthony, that 17-year-old murderer, walking around the streets of Texas a free man? How is that even possible? This is an animal who killed a 17-year-old boy over a damn book bag, and right now in the state of Texas, he is a free man. Not only is he a free man, he is a man who is a lot more wealthier today than he was when he went into the jail cell, because the social justice warriors and BLM domestic terrorists have raised hundreds of thousands of dollars in his name, because apparently murder is excusable just because he looks like us. Yeah, that's a damn shame. It's disgusting. Now, imagine if the roles were reversed. Imagine if Karmelo Anthony was a white man, or actually imagine if he was a white man who was a police officer. And all of a sudden, his bail was reduced heavily and he was just allowed to walk out of jail scot-free. Oh, America would be burning to the ground right now. And that's not me speculating. I know this to be true because it happened just a few years ago. When the BLM thugs didn't get their way, they set America on fire. That is exactly what happened. But you won't see that happen in this case.
Yeah, yeah, but here's the thing, bro. Here's the thing, bro. They're gonna. White people not gonna protest. White people not protesting for a while. That's January 6th that shook them up. But white people wouldn't even protest for this anyway. Like, that's not their politics. White people politic a different way. They politic through legislation and things like that. Blacks are the ones that politic through rioting and protesting.
Trigger warning, this video gonna start some mess because I'm about to be messy. But it gotta be said. Huh? Trigger warning, this video gonna start some mess because I'm about to be messy. But it gotta be said. Huh? This video gonna start some mess because I'm being messy, but it got to be said. All right. Listen, guess who got out on bail just now? Huh? Karmelo Anthony. Okay. Listen, America is acting like a family arguing on Thanksgiving and a stranger walking the house. America is acting like a family arguing at Thanksgiving and a stranger walking the house. Listen, $250,000 bond. As soon as they dropped it down from $1 million to $250,000, my boy got out. He said, I got that. Yeah, right up in the GoFundMe. Drop it. Yeah. So now that he walking out, it's two different arguments. And I'm going to say both of them. We all family here. Let's just get it out the way. Okay? White people saying, well, why did he have a knife at school? He could have told somebody. I don't think it was that serious to take the boy's life. I mean, all kids horse around in school, right? I don't think it's about race. Listen. Now let's go to the black side. Black people like, a knife? That's Mando. That's Mando. Every young man did.
Yeah, facts though. That's true though. Black people black people. Yeah, that's facts.
Matter of fact, when I grew up, that's the least of your worries. They was bringing more than that to school. Amen. But at the same token, somebody did lose their life. But now all this backstory coming out, and black people sitting there waiting for white people to say something, and white people not saying nothing. They just saying like little snarky remarks. The boy got out of jail, and the white lady that was the reporter said, well, why were you armed at school? That's what we calling it now? If I put a rock in my pocket at school and walk in with it, am I armed? God, why we gotta take it so far? You got scissors in your book bag. Come on now. This is a young man. Needless to say, I know y'all can tell by the way I told y'all both sides what side I'm with. But we will reconvene at a later date. Let's just see how this goes. And we will be covering this.
That nigga compared a rock to a knife. Jesus Christ, man.
All right, you guys. So we now have an update in the case. All right, you guys. So we now have an update in the case of Karmelo Anthony. So we know that there was a hearing that was held this morning. And this hearing was to reduce his bond from $1 million down to something lower. So a judge has decided to reduce Karmelo's bond to $250,000. And if he makes his bond, he will be on house arrest. So during this hearing, it's being said that his mother and his father did speak out. And they expressed to the court that Karmelo had never been in any trouble before this situation. Karmelo is also the oldest of 3 siblings, and the family moved to their area around 2021. They also expressed...
I want you to think about this, white people. Karmelo's family moved to Frisco in 2021. Which means that when you have people moving to your neighborhood, this is about how long it takes for things to change. Okay, so now you have Frisco, a very nice community, like almost no crime, no bullshit, right? 3 years later, they moved 2021, 4 years later, 2022, 2023, 2022, 4 years later, you got kids carrying knives to school. You got them using it in petty disputes. You got a racial fucking bullshit going on in your town now. Racial bullshit. You got a lot of people in your town supporting, the ghetto street prison politics that lead to stabbings like this. And it's just degraded in your community. And it's happened in 4 years. So I want you white people to realize this: when you start seeing them moving trucks moving in your neighborhood, and you see niggas and shit, you got about 4 years. Press 1. You got about 4 years before they start, reshaping your local community's culture, their outlook on things, the things that are acceptable. Got about 4 years.
Never been in any trouble before this situation. Karmelo is also the oldest of 3 siblings, and the family moved to their area around 2021. They also expressed that he is the captain of the football team and track team. Now, y'all, the reason why that is important is because a lot of people were saying that he wasn't on the track team and that he wasn't supposed to be at.
You say, Dark Kent says, hey, what's up? With them saying Austin's dad was convicted of SA. They saying anything, man. Those people are awful, man. Liberals are awful. They're going around keying Teslas, man. They're mad at Elon Musk, so they're just keying random people's Teslas. These liberals are fucking nuts, man. They're evil.
To be at that event. So the prosecution actually brought up the fact that the family has a GoFundMe. And they asked the family, look, y'all have a GoFundMe. The GoFundMe is at over $400,000. Why haven't y'all bundled him out? And his mom told them, look, it's a process to get that money out. You can't just go and withdraw the money, especially not $400,000.
If I was the mom, I would keep raising the goal, man. I would raise the goal to get money from all you niggas, man, and all you white liberals. I would keep raising the goal, man. That lawyer is not gonna be cheap, man. The mother says she can't access the funds yet. If his bond was reduced to 250,000 in Texas, you can probably get 12,000. You can probably get him out for 12,000 because you don't have to pay all of the bond. The bail bondsmen will take a payment plan. In Texas, bail bondsmen take payment plans. You didn't know that.
They also said that a lot of that GoFundMe money has to go to his legal defense. Now, once he's placed on house arrest, he cannot use social media, and he has to report and talk to.
That's going to be a problem, staying off social media, but they're not going to violate him. If he goes on social media, they're not going to violate him. Only way they're going to violate him for parole, for his pretrial release is if he kills somebody else. I don't want to hear about that ankle monitor. If he leaves the house without the ankle monitor on, they're not going to violate him for that.
Talk to a bailiff every Friday.
Say the judge has made the call, and so what's important is what's next. Frisco PD will be finishing up their investigation. They will submit the case to my office.
Talk to a bailiff every Friday.
Say the judge has made the call, and so.
Jeez.
So let me get this straight. People are mad at this judge for lowering. So let me get this straight. People are mad at this judge for lowering the bail from $1 million to $250,000 for Karmelo, and now they're talking about she need to be condemned. What the fuck are we talking about? Everybody crying about the system, how it be broken, how they just throw young black males under the jail, and now the one time a black male is not put under the jail.
Hey y'all, this is the one time. This is the one time a black man has not been put under the jail, y'all.
Everybody crying about the system, how it be broken, how they just throw young black males under the jail. And now the one time a black male is not put under the jail, everybody looking confused. Let's be real for a second. This man is only 17 years old. He have no prior charges. He is not a flight risk. He said this was an act in self-defense. I'm not saying he's innocent, but a bond is not about guilt. It's about whether you can fight your case from the outside.
So the question is, what is it? Do we want fair treatment or do we just want punishment? So was she wrong for not being a bot and showing some humanity? If this was the system we all asked for, being balanced and thoughtful and not just throwing kids up under the jail, why are we trying to cancel this judge when all she's doing is doing her job? But people is trying to make it a race thing. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts down below in the comments.
Black people are overrepresented on social media. Press 1.
I wasn't going to speak on this at first, but I think I have to. I wasn't going to speak on this at first, but I think I have to. My favorite thing that Karmelo Anthony's lawyer said is that bond is not supposed to be a punishment. Because I feel like a lot of y'all failed to realize that and wanted that boy to be punished before he was even proven guilty. And another thing, he said when...
Well, ma'am, the preponderance of evidence does say that it's a slam dunk case, and he admitted that he did it. Bond is also to keep the public safe. So he admitted he killed the guy.
Said when this evidence comes out, I think all of y'all judgments will be different. We've only heard one side of the story. That should tell you everything you need to know. I jumped for joy when I heard the news earlier today because Karmelo...
She jumped for joy.
Anthony deserves to be at home with his family. He was put in a tough situation, and as a 17-year-old child, he acted out of fear. And I just don't understand how y'all cannot see that. Then y'all crazy tales still want to bring up the fact that they raised almost $500,000. Then y'all crazy tales want to talk about, oh, his family has more than enough to bail him out with his $1 million bond. Okay, and y'all want them to struggle. Y'all literally want for it to be unfair for this family. And it's really sick because y'all don't even know that this boy is guilty. Shout out to his lawyer.
I mean, he said he did it. He said, I did it. He said, I'm not alleged, I did it. It's just a matter of whether it's a self-defense or not, which it's not. And when people like this are going to be dangerous because when he gets some time, whatever it is, they're going to be upset. But this is a slam dunk case.
Shout out to their team. Shout out to the judges. And let's keep on raising awareness and keep on praying for this boy and his family.
Praying for that boy and his family.
Karmelo Anthony is free on $250,000 bail. And a lot of people don't feel like he should have been able to come home after the incident that happened. And if you don't know what happened, Karmelo Anthony got into an altercation where allegedly he ended up taking somebody's life. They were both at a high school track meet. It was raining.
Allegedly.
Karmelo was sitting down. He was approached by the victim. They had words. The reports say that those words led into a physical altercation. And in that physical altercation, Karmelo Anthony allegedly took out a knife. And you already know the end of the story. And of course, social media is going crazy, saying that the altercation wasn't self-defense. And they're also saying that he shouldn't have had a bail. Other people are saying that it was self-defense and it was rooting for Karmelo Anthony. They even raised over $300,000 for him. Question to you is, what do you think? Do you think that the judge really gave him a pass by lowering his bail?
I mean, we'll see what the judge is about when the trial starts, man. Everyone hit the like button, man. Give me 150 likes so we can drop the link.
Now, guys, I'm gonna be real with y'all. White people deserve some credit today.
We're up. We're up. We're up. We're up.
Carmelo, do you have anything that you'd like to say? Why were you armed? Carmelo, why were you armed at school? Explain your self-defense. How is this self-defense?
Excuse me.
Carmelo, you like to say?
Wow. I'll say this, man. Hopefully, this him being out on bond, and nothing, absolutely nothing happening to him by any white people or anything like that. Like absolutely nothing happened to him. Like we all know that no white person is even gonna fucking throw an egg at his house. Okay. Hopefully the mainstream media reports that and doesn't embellish it and try to like, and I'm hoping the family doesn't do that. I'm hoping the family doesn't do any race hoaxes, try to like act like they're being attacked or something's people are like, you know, they feel like they're in danger. But yeah, I hope that it's a long time before the trial so that it can die down, man. And for this kid, so he can have, you know, I mean, when the judge, he's going to get some time. This kid is going to get some time. For some reason, the number 12 is in my head. I'm feeling that number 12. I'm feeling like 12 or something like that is about what he's going to end up getting. 12 years. It says, wish you hadn't blacked out the address subdivision of the new mansion Carmelo Anthony's family bought with the Give Send Go money. It's not like Democrats didn't black out all the homes, addresses, personal phones of Tesla owners. By the way, the new neighborhood is white, right? So this one says they have already moved into a massive 3,500 square foot home valued at over 800,000 that they are renting from Indian investors. Oh wow. So yeah, so they can't lie and say that people they've moved allegedly. Allegedly Carmelo Anthony's family has moved to a 3,500 square foot home. Allegedly. This guy says it's possible that a white Carmelo Anthony wouldn't have been charged, claiming it was self-defense. This guy says that a white kid can stab a black kid to death in school and he won't be charged. Shout out to Scott Kelly, man. He says Democrats doing what they do, letting criminals out of jail. Yeah, this is crazy. This is crazy work. Welcome home, Karmelo. This one says, it won't surprise me if Carmelo Anthony sues Austin Metcalf's family for emotional distress and wins. Damn. That would be crazy. That would be bananas, man. I ain't even gonna lie, man. That would be bananas. That would be straight. That would be straight crazy. Wow. That is so funny. So Collin County Republican Party post. Keep Judge Angela Tucker. Judge Angela Tucker is a graduate of UT Austin and Dedman School of Law at Southern Methodist. She has been licensed for 23 years and has spent her entire legal career in Collin County, handling cases in the 3 areas of law heard by her court: criminal, family, and civil. Judge Tucker has served Collin County as judge of the 199th District Court since 2012. So I think she's a Republican. This Mammie is a Republican. All that goes out the window, though, in cases like this. Because her being a Republican does not stop her from feeling the energy and being wanting to conform like women always do, wanting to conform to what the people want and what the people say. Here she is right here. This is the judge right here talking. Let's see what the judge talking about.
I didn't see a female in my hometown that was an attorney until I was in law school, and went back to intern, and certainly not a person of color. And so now when we can have, summer interns come up and they are every race, creed, color, gender, but they can see someone that looks like them on the bench, I think that is so beneficial because it's representation. And when they look at me, young kids, law students, whoever it is, I want them to say, if she can do it, I can do it too. I didn't see a female in my hometown that was an attorney until I was in law school, and went back to intern, and certainly not a person of color. And so now when we can have, summer interns come up and they are every race, creed, color, gender, but they can see someone that looks like them on the bench, I think that is so beneficial because it's representation. And when they look at me, young kids, law students, whoever it is, I want them to say, if she can do it, I can do it too.
Wow. Why do they let judges talk like that? That's so biased. Like, a judge shouldn't be talking like that. I mean, like, that's very concerning, man. That's very concerning. And I know black women got this little thing where they get to do whatever they want and say whatever they want. But at the same time, wow. At the same time, that's just so, that's such a biased foundation. Like that's her foundation. She's talking about her foundation. Like what, like her her childhood, what motivates her and things like that. And it's all about race and identity. Gosh, jeez. Here's Carmelo Anthony's judge, y'all.
I didn't see a female in my hometown that was an attorney until I was in law school, and went back to intern, and certainly not a person of color. And so now when we can have, summer interns come up and they are every race, creed, color, gender, but they can see someone that looks like them on the bench. I think that is so beneficial because it's representation. And when they look at me, young kids, law students, whoever it is, I want them to say, if she can do it, I can do it too. I didn't see a
That's horrifying, man. That's horrifying, man. Yeah, she don't sound like no Republican, man. That's horrifying that that's the judge, man. That is horrifying. She's the judge. What can you do, man? She's the judge. That's the judge. Unless it gets moved. Unless it gets moved, that's the judge. Wow.
And now to a crime alert. A grandmother shot inside of her own home, and police say the gunman is her son-in-law. Local 10's Brett Neese is live in Miami Gardens with the details. Brett.
Eden police wrapped up the investigation at the home just a couple of hours ago, but the search for that shooter continues tonight after what neighbors say was a violent outburst they never saw coming. The crime scene tape around this Miami Gardens home has come down, but the bloodstains beside the front door remain after police say a man shot his estranged mother-in-law around noon on Monday.
That's crazy. How could things like that happen?
Multiple family members picked up items from the home before leaving for the night. They did not want to talk about what happened. Their neighbors still in shock.
My neighbor in the back called me and said, "Hey, there's something going on. I heard some screaming and police and helicopters."
Police rushed to the 4400 block of Northwest 203rd Terrace after the gunshot rang out. First responders taking the grandmother by air rescue to the North Trauma Center of Aventura Hospital. Police continue to look for the shooter, who they say fled the scene in this blue Ford F-150.
At this time, we are asking the community if they come across this vehicle to please contact the Miami Gardens Police Department or contact any law enforcement agency.
Myra Camaro told us she spoke to a man who rendered aid to the woman who was shot.
She was talking. The guy who found her said he was talking and she was answering him all the questions and everything.
And Myra recounts what the son-in-law suspect, with 2 young kids, told her about 8 to 10 months ago when he moved out following a separation.
Had gotten separated because he had a problem with her mother, and that he says, I've 10 years I've been with them and I've been nothing but good to her.
We understand that woman who was shot remains in the hospital tonight. We're working to learn her name as well as the name of the shooter. We'll keep you updated. Live in Miami Gardens, Brett Neese, Local 10 News.
The man accused of trying to kill Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro and his family will remain in jail. Investigators say Cody Balmer set fire to the governor's residence early Sunday morning, and today he came face to face with a judge. NBC 10's Francis Wang has been following this story and is live for us as we learn more about this alleged arsonist. Francis.
Yeah, Jackie, as you mentioned, 38-year-old Cody Balmer is still in a correctional facility tonight. He was in court for his arraignment today, facing a judge, and he answered a series of questions. The judge said, though, ultimately, while she appreciated that he turned himself into state police, she felt he could be a danger to the community and even himself.
Cody, is the confession you gave state police accurate?
NBC 10 there, asking questions to the alleged arsonist of the Pennsylvania governor's residence, sticking his tongue out at reporters as he entered the courtroom. 38-year-old Cody Balmer listened as the judge read through all 8 charges he is now facing, including attempted murder, aggravated arson, aggravated assault, and terrorism. Balmer is the man authorities say climbed over the fence of the governor's residence in Harrisburg, broke a window, and threw 2 Molotov cocktails inside. The governor, his family, and their guests were all inside sleeping early Sunday.
Wow.
Celebrating the Jewish holiday of Passover just hours before. These photos now show the charred scene left behind.
Fire grew fairly quickly because it was accelerated by those Molotov cocktails that were used in the firebombing.
Balmer quickly got out the same way he got in and later approached a state trooper to turn himself in. Authorities say Balmer had a hammer, one he confessed he would have used to beat the governor with if he saw him.
He is a domestic terrorist, and I hope that he spends a lot of time behind jail for the heinous acts that he performed here in our capital city that put not only the first family, but my firefighters at risk.
In Balmer's arraignment today, he revealed he had been living with his parents for the last year, and while he has worked as a welder before, he is currently unemployed. He said he does not have a history of substance or alcohol abuse, and when asked about his mental health, he responded, quote, "That's the rumor, but no ma'am." Family members telling NBC 10 today that they had called police last week for help, concerned that he had stopped taking his medication and was facing a mental health crisis. Now, both prosecutors and Balmer's public defender in court today declined to speak after that hearing. Balmer's next court hearing has been scheduled for April 23rd. We're live in Center City tonight. I'm Francis Wang, NBC 10 News.
But we begin tonight
Damn.
with new details from Harrisburg in the arson investigation at the Pennsylvania governor's mansion. These pictures show the severity of the fire and the extent of the damage. And today, fire officials say could have been much worse. We're also learning more about the suspect, 38-year-old Cody Balmer, seen here, the fire chief calling him a domestic terrorist. This is the Fox 29 News at 6. I'm Sheba Russell.
And I'm Jennifer Lee. More than 24 people were in the home just hours before celebrating Passover. In just the last half hour, state troopers walked Balmer into his arraignment.
Sir, what were you thinking of Sunday morning? What were you thinking of Sunday? Why did you do that? Why do you say you hate the governor? Why do you hate the governor? What is it?
Cody, is the confession you gave state police accurate?
Your father said he tried to help you, sir.
And you can hear our Fox 29 reporter Jeff Cole asking multiple questions as Balmer was led into a judge's office in Harrisburg to face charges of attempted murder, terrorism, and aggravated arson. Balmer is accused of setting fire to Governor Josh Shapiro's home in Harrisburg Sunday. Police say he jumped the fence around 2 in the morning and threw a gasoline-filled bottle into the house.
Investigators say Balmer then broke into the home, through a window, and started a fire in 2 rooms with intent to do as much damage as possible.
The Molotov cocktail is no different than a gun. When I got that Molotov cocktail in my hand, I know at the end of the day, I'm going to create damage, destruction, and probably going through the terrorist's mind was, I want to kill somebody.
That fire happening just hours after Shapiro's family had just celebrated Passover. Investigators say Balmer told them he would have attacked Governor Shapiro with a hammer if he saw him. Our Jeff Cole.
So now they're going to say that this is anti-Semitic. They're going to say this is anti-Semitic.
A mother and her 13-year-old daughter shot and killed in their home. Investigators still haven't released a motive. Our Joanne Pileggi spoke with the victim's heartbroken family.
Police here in Trenton and county homicide detectives are still investigating the killings of a mother and her 13-year-old daughter. And I can tell you it was a very emotional scene outside of the home where it happened.
Right now, it's a tragedy that this has happened to our family. But right now, we don't know all basic details.
On West State Street in Trenton, just a couple blocks from the Capitol complex, a family grieves for an immeasurable loss. The Trenton mayor says the city is mourning the senseless deaths of 13-year-old Jaira Biggs and her mother, 40-year-old Malika Whiting.
She was a loving mother. She worked every day. Even if she lost a job, she was never discouraged about finding another one the next day. She was funny. She was loving. All she wanted, Telly, was to just have her kids raised properly. Her daughter's in the 7th grade, 13 years old. She didn't deserve this. To be in the middle of a conflict she had nothing to do with.
Police in Trenton responded to a 911 call Saturday morning. Neighbors.
So she know who did this. She knows that there was the boyfriend or somebody, a conflict.
Saw the commotion and were horrified by the news.
They got a 911 call saying that someone was murdered in the house.
According to relatives, Whiting also has a son and 2 small children. Police say they detained a person of interest on unrelated charges and are still investigating.
It's very senseless, you know? Very senseless.
My prayer is that each and every one of you evaluate your relationships you're in, because this can be any of us. All we ask is for prayers, strength.
The mayor saying police are working tirelessly to bring justice for the victims and their families. Anyone with any information about this horrific crime asked to contact police.
They got a person in custody, a person of interest in custody.
It is an incredible story of survival. A woman shot by her estranged boyfriend who held her and their daughter hostage.
Yeah, this is frightening. We showed you body cam video back in July when Deshaun Dunmeyer was using his 3-year-old daughter as a shield from the SWAT team that was trying to rescue the little girl. Now, he was killed, but the mother and child survived, and now she has a message for other women. Not investigate. Shannon Butler has her story live in Studio C. Shannon.
Greg et al., she was shot 8 times, scars she will carry for the rest of her life. But it's not just those wounds. The deepest scars cannot be seen, but she says she and her daughter are doing pretty well. And now she's hoping to save someone else from what she went through.
Sheila Smith felt meeting Deshaun Dunmeyer at an LA shoe store was meant to be.
He was just really sweet. He had a good, high energy. He just seemed very positive. We just had fun. I mean, after that day, we kind of were inseparable.
What she didn't know until years later is that there was a side of him that was dark, so dark that he tried to kill her. The couple had broken up, but was co-parenting the best they could. That was until that day in July when she went to pick up her daughter and almost didn't make it out.
And he was like, "We're both gonna die today." And I'm like, "Sean, please. You do not have to do this." And he was still going, he was still mad, and then he shot me again. So I tried to get away from him, and that's when he shot me in my back, and I kind of fall to the floor, and I'm begging him, "Sean, stop."
And finally, he choked her until she fell unconscious. When she came to, she was able to escape.
I knew I
Yo, this bitch is like the Terminator, yo. She different, yo. This chick is different, man. This bra made out of the right stuff, man. God, dog. This bra made out of the right stuff, yo. Jesus Christ. You can choke them, they won't die. Sisters, man. The football player tried to choke the girl to death, and he couldn't kill her. This dude, he couldn't kill her either. You can't kill these bitches. God damn, man. God damn. This chick like, god damn, indestructible, man.
He was still going, like he was still mad, and then he shot me again. So I tried to get away from him, and that's when he shot me in my back, and I kind of like fall to the floor, and I'm like begging him, like, Sean, stop.
And finally, he choked her until she fell unconscious. When she came to, she was able to escape.
I knew I wasn't gonna die. I was like, okay, I know I'm gonna just have to fight my hardest fight.
She ran to.
Damn. Then she got up from that and ran? Shit. This bitch, god damn, we need to study her, man. We need to hook her up with a fucking computer and shit. That's why I tell you, white girls, man, don't get in the fight with these people. Don't get in the fight with these machines at a Walmart. You crazy. You absolutely crazy.
My hardest fight.
She ran to get help. Finally, a man called 911, but that was just the beginning. She was completely unaware that while she was undergoing surgery, he was in a standoff with the SWAT team.
I promise you she's going to be all right. I need you to be all right because she needs a father, okay? She needs her father, Deshaun.
Deshaun was now holding their daughter hostage as negotiators tried to get him to surrender.
Come here, sweetheart. Come here. Deshaun, don't make me do it. Deshaun, don't touch the gun and everybody will be fine. She's freaking out. Deshaun, come on, buddy.
You know, these white boys came and saved this little black girl, man. All these white guys risking their lives to save this little black girl from her pappy.
She's freaking out, dude.
For 6 hours, deputies tried to get him out, but he used that little girl as a shield as she cried in the chaos. But then, in an unbelievable move, the Orange County SWAT team shot him, saving that little girl.
Go, go! Come on, sweetheart.
Our SWAT officers saw him holding a gun and the baby, shot and killed the man. Thankfully, the baby is okay.
In all, Sheila was shot 8 times and is here to tell her story, crediting God for being able to raise this little girl now that her father is gone, and hopes speaking today helps someone else who might also be in danger.
I would say
this. She liked him because he was a thug, and that's okay. Because she indestructible, man. If you gonna date thugs, man, you need to be built like her, man. Don't date no thug if you ain't built like this, man. She was built for it. She was built for it, man. That nigga couldn't kill her. That nigga, cause that nigga. That ain't did everything he could to kill her. He couldn't get rid of her, man. Damn. And the little one, the daughter, she made her the same stuff too. He couldn't kill her either. Shit. What's going on, man? What's happening?
Yo, what's the word? I say, Buddy just ran out of bullets, man. She better thank God for inflation.
Yeah, man. She one tough cookie, ain't she?
Nah, yeah, she tough, but hey, who's to say that she ain't gonna date his goddamn cousin?
Oh, yeah, you know she ain't. She a nice looking chick too. You know she gonna be getting them offers.
Yeah.
And you know most of the dudes she gonna want, like, especially after something like this. For some reason, they think they want to be protected. They want to feel safe. They feel safe more with dudes that's in the street. You know what I mean? They feel more safe in the eye of the storm.
Yeah, that's insane. But yeah, she definitely I guarantee she got a boyfriend now that's the exact same way.
Oh, the exact same way, without a doubt. Shout out to Louis Burrow. It says, if I was Carmelo's lawyer, I would try to get a son woman judge and stack the jury with son sisters. He will be acquitted of all charges. Yeah, I mean he got the son woman judge. He got that part. You don't need to stack the jury. You just need one son woman on the
All you
jury.
need is one. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All you
Yeah,
need is one. Hey, but I move that. I try to move that shit to Dallas County though for sure.
yeah, exactly. But
Yeah, fuck out of here.
I don't think that they're gonna let him do that, man, because
Nah, they gonna get him
yeah,
everything that he want. They don't want no. I guarantee you, they about to make this shit so fucking fair for him. They gonna do everything. They gonna look. They gonna do the. They gonna move the trial. They gonna what is it? Equestrian. What is this shit? What they say?
Sequester it.
sequester the jury.
Sequester the jury. They gonna do everything for him in his favor, and he gonna still get found guilty for like manslaughter or some shit. And he gonna get 6 to like 12 years. He
Yeah,
gonna do like fucking 5.5, whatever it is. But people still gonna be mad.
yeah, everybody gonna be mad. If he only get 12 years, people will be mad on that side. But if he get 12 years, the blacks gonna be mad. If he get 60 days, black people gonna be mad. At this point,
That motherfucker
they,
gonna get he getting a minimum of 5, a minimum.
they become so entitled about this case. Blacks, they're like they really, I really believe that if he gets any amount of time, they're gonna be upset.
He's getting 5 years, bro. He's
Did
getting
you hear that they found a video of the event of what happened?
That's a
I
lie
haven't heard that. That's a
already.
lie. Yeah, I haven't heard.
It would have been out the next day. And don't tell me about waiting for the trial. No, shit gets leaked now when it gets leaked. There's no video. There's
Yeah,
absolutely
real talk. I be working cases, whatever it is. Like I be on scene for like homicides, and the shit be caught on camera at like a gas station or something. By
yeah,
the time I get to the station, that shit already be on like Twitter.
exactly. And here's the thing. And here's the thing. When you in a tent, when you under a tent, let's just say there was a camera on the at the stadium, right? They were under a tent. So like, and then I mean, it wouldn't have even caught that type of camera wouldn't have caught the incident because they were under a tent.
I already know how this about to go. Like this whole trial shit. So it's literally no cameras, obviously. The only people that was probably under the tent was probably like little white kids because that was the school that they went to. They're gonna be on the stand crying tears and shit like that. They're gonna be like, see, the white tears works. Blah, blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah,
yeah,
blah,
yeah,
blah, blah. They're gonna be crying about the moment that he stabbed them and him dying in their hand. And they gonna be like over exaggerating, making it seem like those white tears mean more than any other tears. You get what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah, and also the black people have ability to dumb everybody down, right? So like we drag shit into the mud to where if you go down there and play with us on that level and start thinking and rationalizing on that level, it that's what black people are good at. They can drag you into the muck of logical cesspools and shit.
Logical fallacy.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like everybody is kind of like in a place where it's like, yo, he stabbed him. The cop came. He said, I did it. The end. But they got us like arguing all this other shit. And where it's court of public opinion and all this shit. So, but yeah, he stabbed the kid. He brought a knife to school, stabbed the kid, and confessed to the first cop that came on the scene.
You
Yeah,
know what's crazy, yo? I can recall double digit times in my life where some kids came either I was involved in a situation or I witnessed a situation where a son teen or a son kid was like, "Hey, touch me, see what I do." Like double digit times where it'd be like, "Hey, touch me and see what I do," or "Punch me then, punch me first, punch me first." Not
Yeah,
one time has somebody fucking pulled out a knife and stabbed somebody in the fucking
right,
heart. You
right.
get what I'm saying? Like that shit happened. That shit happened every day in the Sun community where
Yeah.
nobody dies. You know?
Oh yeah, and they acting like and son now all of a sudden sons is talking about bullying. Tell your kids to keep their hands to themselves. No one has a worse time keeping their hands to themselves than sons.
Bruh, I swear to God, before I was a cop, I taught kids, bro. And that was like the main thing. Like, hey man, just stop touching each other. Stop touching each other because that that usually results into a fight. You know what I'm saying? And that's from pre-K all the way up to 8th grade.
Yeah.
Just a simple touch is gonna turn into a fight.
Mm-hmm.
And
Shout
this
out to
shit is crazy, bro.
Eric S says, if Collin County falls, 80% of the DFW will fall. Tarrant County is relatively safe, but it's the new Sun sister capital of DFW. Oh wow. Well, yeah, I mean, listen, you can look at places and see who the elected politicians are and just know, what I'm saying, a lot about where it's going.
You see what St. Louis? You see what St. Louis just went, right?
What for the mayor?
Yeah,
Yeah, they've been had a system mayor, right? To
yeah,
show
but
them.
now they got a woke glider.
Oh, they bounced the black system mayor.
Yeah, they bounced it. They got the city council white chick, white glider.
Yeah, the one before this was white too, and she was woke as shit.
Nah, this the same shit. So they didn't vote it. They didn't vote it for the same shit, man. This one is yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
The mother of a 2-year-old
You
girl
really
in
think this little monster will get away with that?
Jersey demanding answers
You really
after she
think
picked
what?
up her daughter.
You really think this little monster Carmelo will get away with this?
Oh yeah, they're gonna let him get away relatively. Like that guy's gonna get like he's for what he did. That's like capital murder. That's like fucking life sentence. But I mean, he's gonna get away. He's gonna get away. I think he'll do 12 years.
Yeah, I think he gonna do 5. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Cook County. What do
Yeah.
you, Cook County? What do you guys think? What's up, man? How do you guys think the blighter community is going to react if this guy gets off light?
The same way that they always react. The weak, fail, trash,
What should they do?
gliders.
Like think about it. If you're a white person in like what online they're gonna be very loud, but in public, like what give me an idea of what white people could do publicly, to let you know their feelings.
Bro, white people ain't gonna do a goddamn thing. White people watch a fucking great cop get ran through the mud, exposed as like the next fucking Hitler for fucking doing his job, coming in for overtime, and doing exactly what the manual said. And they all watched the trial because some people watched the trial except for like fucking me. I watched the whole trial. And they watched the trial and they saw that they couldn't even say he had his knee on his neck anymore. They saw that he died from this and that. And they still didn't burn shit down or still didn't do anything in their own country. White folks ain't gonna do shit. Gliders ain't gonna do a motherfucking thing. And it's a shame. And that's why we are where we are right now.
I'll tell you about a case nearly as bad. Well, could be as worse than this from the UK. A black bloke was murdered by his they was sort of common law marriage. Ferrier Martin stabbed him in. I had an argument. Stabbed him in the heart. Right. Claimed that he was attacked by somebody else. She was convicted, got a life sentence. Then tagged to run something called the Centre for Women's Justice. Got to the Court of Appeal, some bullshit story about abuse and everything. She got it cut down to 10 years, out in 5. Ferrier Martin. The victim's name was Carl Farrell. There's been a couple of cases like that.
Mm.
There was a white bitch, Emma Jane Magson, did almost exactly the same thing with her boyfriend. Stabbed him in the heart, and the she had to make a 999 call. That I actually put on the Internet Archive. Give them a load of bullshit, but she was convicted, and they got back to the Court of Appeal twice, but the conviction was upheld. But these are terrible cases. People get away with murder, literally get away with murder.
Yeah, let me see this case right here.
The mother of a 2-year-old girl in New Jersey demanding answers after she picked up her daughter from daycare on Wednesday and noticed one of the braids in her daughter's hair was missing.
Yeah, she shared photos, there they are, with Eyewitness News that appeared to show the missing portion of her daughter's hair, but the daycare says that there is no evidence a braid was pulled from her head. So what happened?
Eyewitness News reporter Janice Yu spoke to the girl's mother, who is now taking legal action against the daycare.
Because the braid is missing.
Then that's when she sent me the picture, and that's what I saw, the big bald spot in my child's head with the braid missing.
Tamara Hemingway was stunned. She says she sent her 2-year-old to daycare like this last Wednesday with 4 braids on the right side of her head. She says it was only when she called to check in the afternoon, a staff member at Growing Kids Academy noticed one braid on Mila's head was missing.
You have to use some type of force for a braid to be removed. It was a cornrow, so it was braided down to her scalp. It's no way that I don't know who could have done it, but I know for a fact she or
but here's the thing. This is what I talk about, like black logic. Okay, so if the braids pulled out right at the root, right, there will be other things other than missing hair, right? There will be bruising, abrasion. There will be hair follicles, blood, at the root, blood. You know what I mean? Healing, some sort of healing, some sort of abrasion, some sort of something like that, right? Could it be that the braid was just retwisted and the person did a terrible job? Because if you pull out, if I pull one of them braids out that little girl's head, there's going to be some trauma. There's going to be some physical trauma, and there's going to be signs of that other than just the braid missing.
Did they ask her what happened?
You know what I mean? Like it's just not gonna be a braid missing.
Didn't they ask her?
I don't know. I haven't heard her talk about it.
You have to use some type of force for a braid to be removed. It was a cornrow, so it was braided down to her scalp. It's no way that I don't know who could have done it, but I know for a fact she or a kid would not have done that.
A report with the Ocean Township Police says Mila's hair looked normal around 11 a.m. The video from inside the classroom shows her playing with her braids several times. The officer notes one of the teachers is seen on video trying to take a smock off of Mila's head around 11:45, at which point she's seen putting her hand up to the right side of her head. After this, the officer no longer saw the braid, and even after...
So, a smock. What's a smock? Like a hat?
No, isn't the smock something you wear when you're doing arts and crafts?
Yeah, it like keeps paint from getting on you and shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Like an apron, some sort.
Yeah.
To protect your clothing.
So they're saying that she pulled the apron off. The apron, let's just say the apron caught on the braid when she pulled it off. And the braid just pops off at the root. There's gonna be some blood. There's gotta be some blood. You just pull a whole braid out at the root. But if you go by what they said, man, it seems like they may have pulled the hair loose. It may have been pulled loose, and then they braided it back and left that gap there. That's what I'm saying happened.
Yo, what up? Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. What's up?
No, I just wanted to make a prediction about that case in Texas with the track meet, man. I'm gonna make a bold prediction right now. I think if Trump make an opinion about this shit for any side, I think that shit could start a little up. That shit will start like an uprise when this case is resolved because you know the powers that be, they hate Trump and they gonna use that shit to whatever side he's on, they gonna galvanize the other side. You will seeing like let's say Trump was like he's against the black kid. You will see CNN and all those big media outlets do their best to make the black kid into a saint and galvanize BLM and all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll do the most. And I'm telling you, when it comes down to the come down, it's gonna be an uprise. I'm not saying it's gonna be a race war, but a couple people gonna get fucked up. A couple people gonna die. That's my honest prediction.
I'm gonna tell
You
you
know what I'm
like this.
saying?
Trump is not gonna say a word about this, man.
He shouldn't.
He shouldn't. Yeah, he shouldn't. He just stay the hell out of this. This is nothing but trouble if he starts talking to it.
The officer knows one of the teachers is seen on video trying to take a smock off of Mila's head around 11:45, at which point she's seen putting her hand up to the right side of her head. After this, the officer no longer saw the braid, and even after searching, the hair and the barrettes were not found.
What troubles me about the case is that the facility deflected. And they told my client various different things. They didn't know if her child pulled it out. They didn't know what happened. At first, they feigned that they had no idea that it even happened.
The director of the daycare tells Eyewitness News it's not clear exactly what happened, but that there's no evidence Mila's hair was pulled out. Hemingway says for her, this isn't so much about the manner in which the braid came off, but the way the daycare handled the situation.
They're supposed to notify me just to even give whatever little information you do have about the incident until you look into it further and confirm. But no one even called me to just let me know that little bit of information. I'm very upset and I'm very frustrated because this is my child. She's not able to let me know what happened, and that's the concerning part. The fact that they're just so insensitive, no one even called me to check on her, see how she was doing.
Hemingway says Mila has now been removed from this daycare, and she also says the 2-year-old has been sensitive to people touching her hair ever since this happened. In Ocean Township, Jana Sue, Channel
Unusual
7,
for a black
Eyewitness
woman.
News.
Yes,
maybe it was a white woman daycare personnel that stole it because they were obsessed with their hair, right?
Most likely it was a white woman, yeah.
She was jealous.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I can see how unbearable sons are. They just complain about everything. Everything. They'll like to do whatever they want, but as soon as you do something to them, oh my God, this is atrocity. You can't. And I think you mentioned it earlier that sons have the ability to wear you down where you can't compete with them. They'll just you complain about something, they'll just wear you down, and you just have to. It's crazy.
See. Yeah, go ahead. What's up?
I was just gonna say, did you see 4 people shot on Bourbon Street?
Oh, let me see.
I think they got them in custody.
I wonder who that was. Let me see. I wonder who did that.
Well, we are following breaking news this evening. The New Orleans Police Department investigating a shooting in the French Quarter. All of this happening before 8:30 tonight.
This is the second one in 2
toward
weeks.
the end of the French Quarter Festival. Police say at least 4 people were shot at the intersection of Iberville and Decatur Streets, with a possible 5th victim that they are looking into. The victims were taken to the hospital for treatment, all with non-life-threatening wounds. One suspect is in custody. Police say that they're also looking for others, and multiple weapons were recovered from the scene. Again, we're working to find out more details about this investigation, but that's a live look at the scene.
Wow. You already know who did that. Let's not even, we can look into it.
Well, it was a violent weekend on both sides of the lake, leaving 8 people injured.
Yeah, gunfire erupts during the
They shot some people at the Strawberry
Festival
Festival.
Saturday night,
Goddamn.
and then shots are fired along Iberville.
What's the strawberry? That's literally a
Bunch
strawberry
of people at the
festival?
Strawberry Festival. It's like, it's not even in the city. little
We just
strawberry festival and shit.
we just saw one of those. I think in Chicago. We were laughing like about like how safe it was. They literally shot somebody at the strawberry. That's, damn, damn.
French Quarter Fest, which ended on Sunday.
We begin our coverage with the mass shooting that went down in the French Quarter Sunday night, where one man is now facing criminal charges.
WDSU's Jay O'Connor is live for us with witness accounts and video that you will only see on WDSU.
Good evening to you, Randy and Travers. As you can imagine, around 8:30 last night, a lot of people were still in this area after leaving from the French Quarter Festival. A lot of people turning up, having a good time before gunfire erupts. Now, I was able to obtain some video that pretty much shows it unfolding. I just want to warn you, it could be disturbing for some. Keep running. Now, this video that you're watching comes from a group of photographers. They tell me they were rolling for a
That's
documentary
way more than
when
3.
they captured
You
this
see all that?
on their camera last night. You can see people beginning to run when they heard rapid gunfire.
Yo, you couldn't even see him at night. That's fucking not fair.
Jeez.
Super predator right there.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, God, dog. We won't stop. We can't stop, man. We ain't capable of stopping, man. Just like let's play nice while this Carmelo Anthony trial going on. While we telling white people they need to teach their kids to keep their hands to themselves and shit. Let's put up a good front, man.
Police say they arrested Christopher Parker last night as he was apparently seen running from the shooting scene. Parker now facing several charges, including aggravated second-degree battery. Now, as for that crew that was filming the video, they tell me that one of their workers who was holding a lot of equipment ended up falling and hurting himself, trying to get away from the gunfire. You should see the injuries from him on your screen right now. They describe those very tense moments. Take a listen.
They were all over. All of a sudden, you heard, like he said, you heard the first 2 gunshots. You felt them. We were so close, you kind of felt them. You know what I mean? And we saw turn the other way, trying to run. So many people, people tripping over each other, falling. I heard a loud bang next to me. I looked over. It was my cameraman falling. I was so afraid. I was shocked. You know what I mean? Just thinking at the worst. I was so glad when we were able to pick him up. He was bleeding and stuff. We were able to help him out.
Now, witnesses tell me they believe that an argument between 2 men potentially led to the shooting. Now, we're told that all victims who were shot last night are
Well, I mean, let's keep it a buck. If the guy asked him to move, or touched him, then Christopher had every right to kill him. Try to kill him.
Go right to shooting.
Yeah, I mean, you got to recalibrate. We're living in a post Carmelo Anthony world, man.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, if gliders were to do that, like, they would shoot somebody or stab somebody for touching them, like the thing wouldn't hold up.
No,
and
it's no better.
Well, you all have the politics too. This is black politics. The way black people you have politic this thing, have first cry racism, then use social media to twist the debate. They cause chaos. You know what I mean with the facts. And then they still always got the race car. Gliders don't have that race car, and they don't know how to just use social media and public pressure to affect these things. They just use the law. Gliders just use the law.
But the law is biased against them.
I mean, in certain cases, yes. Certain cases,
the law is accepted. But that's what I mean. Like, you know how this would set a legal precedent where, if Glider started playing that, or if Glider started using that precedent, I wonder what would happen.
They're gonna get thrown to the wall and prosecuted to the max. I mean, it's already there like that. If they use Was looking at a video the other day of a old ass man who got assaulted and was getting pushed down and shit, and he shot the son who was doing it, and he got 20 years.
Oh yeah, I heard about
Well,
that case. That was
actually,
years ago.
that one I covered that. McLaughlin, that was in Florida. Well, actually,
Yeah,
the
that was the
guy
one with
was
some woman was parked in the handicap spot, right?
yeah, and then he came over and was cussing her out. If I come out of the gas station and some white dude has got his head in my driver's side window, he's cussing my wife out, I'm gonna walk up to him and push him down. You know what I'm saying? Like it was that guy, that brother came out to a
Yeah, but
situation
man,
that
he put his hands on his person and shit, you know, so he got the
yeah,
right.
exactly. Yeah, you come outside to that, that's like what? And he just pushed him. He didn't like punch him. He just pushed him. And the white guy immediately pulled out to get a shot. Yeah.
Think,
So
Karmelo. Karmelo's setting an example for us all.
that's why nobody wants to live in that world. Nobody wants to live in a world like that, man. Where like, you know what I mean? Because there's too many antagonists, there's too many people, there's too many angles to that. Nobody wants to live in that world. Where all that stuff where you can just do that. That's a terrible world to live in, man.
Guess what I just
yeah.
announced here?
What's that?
Stephen Lawrence Day.
Who's Stephen Lawrence?
You ever heard of Stephen Lawrence?
No.
If you live here, you'd have heard of him. There was a black kid who was murdered in 1993, and you never hear the last of it. I mean,
Stephen, little by a white guy.
It's a gang of whites. They're trying to make it racist. They perverted the law. All this bullshit about non-crime hating sinners. Everything.
Is this it right here? Let me see.
Yeah,
Let me see this shit.
She's a right idiot.
My son's been murdered, and none of these officers, the justice system, the politicians, nobody cared. These idiots who have murdered my son had more rights than we did. People seem to think I may have moved on and I've got over Stephen's death. I haven't.
122 or 161? 122, man. How long?
If we'd known the bus was going to take so long, the 122 to come, we would have just jogged it. If
Was this gentleman part of a gang?
No, he was with him at the bus stop. It was Twain Brooks.
I remember this group of white boys.
They look like gang members.
The other side of the road, shouting. And I just saw this guy strike a downward blow, which I thought was a weapon.
Come on, Steve! Come on, just keep running!
He wasn't running properly. He was running lopsided. And he kept saying to me, Dwayne, like, what's happened to me? What's happened to me?
Just keep running with me, blood! Come on with me! No, Steve,
This is real footage?
Come on, please!
No.
Looks like
On
Saturday morning when I got in, I was made aware that there were phone calls.
Looks like the real footage and shit. Okay.
His mother don't know. His mother don't know what she's talking about. All this bullshit. She's complaining that the police started investigating us. I thought it was a drug dealer because he's a black boy. Well, you don't understand the way the police work. How to investigate everything, lines of inquiry. But she's a right fucking idiot.
Was coming in.
She's in the House of Lords.
People, but not saying how they knew. Many of the calls were of a similar nature, as if a rumour is going round and people are phoning in the rumour they've heard. Obviously, information isn't evidence. There is a distinct difference. The strategy was not to arrest. There were juveniles. You had to handle juveniles very carefully, obviously. To get them in, to simply release them, wasn't really making a lot of sense.
Pantheon is in the back.
We're supposed to have our trust in them, and we think they're doing a wonderful job. But that's just a joke, because I don't believe they're doing a wonderful job.
Them times I was really angry because all the stories that you've heard of what happened to young black men, and then you begin to think about, had he been white?
They would have surrounded the black community. They would have arrested as many black boys as they could, and they would not stop until they get the killer.
We brought over Nelson Mandela to energize.
Wow, that is so crazy that they get to talk like that.
Yeah, a Stephen Lawrence Day is insane.
Wow. So is that going to be like? That's just going to stir up a yearly reminder to stir up
That's been
racial
running for
hatred.
3 decades.
Well, it's been since 1993, and essentially this case was the case that brought to the forefront like institutional racism in the Metropolitan Police,
which doesn't exist.
So it's been this case since 1993 that has said like the Metropolitan Police are institutionally racist, and all the reforms that the Met have had for racism in quotation marks has been because of this case. And as Alexander said, his mother is now a dame who sits in the House of Lords, and that's been like her mission to just get racism out of the Met.
I mean, I feel sympathy for her as a mother. You know, I feel even more sympathy for her husband who divorced her. But it's just complete bullshit. Oh, tell you what I've done here. This is I'm watching it. Have you heard of this series called Adolescence? Of a document so-called.
No, I've heard of it. Yeah, I've heard about
Yeah,
it.
do you know what it's based? Do you know what I based it on?
Huh?
It's based on. It's outrageous. That girl who was murdered in Croydon, you know, Eliane Andam. They based it on that, and then they changed it to a white kid.
Wow.
That's unbelievable.
Wow. Y'all are screwed over there, man. Y'all are really screwed.
They use it as an attack on toxic masculinity. Bullshit.
We see fucking blacks killing whites all the time in UK, man. Can't believe she just said that. Wow. That's what she just said.
But that's just a joke, because I don't believe they're doing a wonderful job.
Them times I was really angry because all the stories that you've heard of what happened to young black men, and then you begin to think about, had he been white?
They would have surrounded the black community. They would have arrested as many black boys as they could.
Is that true?
And they would not stop until they get the killer.
Is that true, Pantheon?
They would have gone and rounded up all the blacks.
What?
No, it's not true, but because it's the same thing as in America, it's gone through generations. Like, oh, you know, the police hate the Sun community, the Suns hate the police. But
Well,
I mean,
I'm not
it's
on a
just
limb
the
guess
same
that
as
people just
now.
ignore it,
That
mostly
it's
like
the
they do here.
gangbangers.
What
Yeah, I mean,
there was the Broadwater Farm riot, which a police officer had his head nearly hacked off, and they obviously weren't very pleased about that. But no, it's people, you know, just, what blacks don't understand is that police treat everybody like shit. you know,
especially if you commit crime.
You think just because you're black, if you're black? No, if you look back in so much corruption, and you know, I've kind of lost count of the number of times I've been arrested, and it's
Pantheon, can you understand him?
Yes.
It's crazy.
Are you guys struggling?
I've lost count of the number of times I've been arrested.
I get in most of it, I think.
I call it the privilege money can't buy. You know,
it's almost like he's speaking a different language.
It's his cadence. It's very fast.
I don't need an American, black or white, to tell me to tell a native Londoner how to speak the King's
Alexander,
English.
I'm not American under any circumstance.
I'm talking about.
Okay.
I recognise your accent.
From the Isles, he is.
I recognise your accent.
Salute to Glider on the Moon. He says, always trust your gut, especially when there's a half clip in it. Glider on the Moon says, compare the situation to when the son tackled the old Glider while he was arguing with his wife about parking. Glider shot him as well. Yeah, that's what he's just talking about. Yeah, the Glockton case, yeah. Salute to you. Gerald Armstrong says, sons always stick together against Gliders. Oh, yeah. Always.
I actually didn't know that guy shot him in the back, and I definitely don't condone going up and trying to impose your moral system on a random sister in the middle of the city. Like, you know,
the one
death wish.
He was looking for trouble. That Glider was looking for trouble. He wanted to get into some shit. He was kind of like, you know,
same thing with Karmelo. You know, you have a weapon and you go and you start trouble, knowing that you have it. It's a problem.
The one thing I will say the one thing I will say for Doreen Lawrence and her husband is that after the murder, these race hustlers jumped in on it, and they wouldn't have any truck with them. The so-called anti-racist alliance, they told them to fuck off.
Mm.
They weren't interested initially, but she's got a bit loopy since.
Mm.
Yeah, but she just, you know, every few years or BLM, she'll pop up and say something in public. But I say, you know, she's probably had a better life with her son being dead, because she's been a dame for a good number of years now. She's in the House of Lords, which she would never have even smelt if her son was alive.
She was a dinner lady, but no, I think it's a bit unfair. I mean, but it was her son, a beloved son.
Yeah, no, of course, but I see it with the Americans, like George Floyd's family. The money they got, he was better off dead to them.
Well,
because they're now touching money that
George Floyd was a different kettle of fish.
No, I know it's slightly different.
I think
there's some things.
I've got some sympathy for Floyd, because if you study his history,
You have some
no
sympathy for
sympathy
Floyd.
for Floyd here.
No sympathy, none whatsoever.
He went to
None
college.
whatsoever. He stuck a gun to a pregnant woman's belly.
Killing.
He went to college on a
Dope
scholarship.
fiend.
No, listen. He went to college on a scholarship. Then he took drugs and he lost it. And it's happened to so many people.
So who forced his hand to take the drugs and put it in?
That was his choice, bro.
That must have been why he started, robbing people dressed up as utility workers and shit.
Yeah, I know that, but it's easy for people when you pick up a bit of form to go downhill. I'm speaking from experience here, you know.
Yeah, but if you took drugs and you're like, "Oh, my life went to hell," I would not feel sorry for you, because no one made you take it.
And Big Floyd, George Floyd was always a Floyd. Like, he wasn't like any different when he went to school. Like, having a scholarship and going to play, like, sons that go play football and basketball in college. Yeah, there's a lot of good kids, but there's a lot of kids that are just bad kids that get scholarships. You can't say like
he could have made it as a sportsman. There's actually two videos of Floyd about gun violence. I put them together and put them on BitChute about him slagging off gun violence. I do feel sorry for him up to a point.
But that's probably the craziest statement I've ever heard you state, Alexander.
What?
You feel sorry for George Floyd.
He doesn't understand that. Like, he doesn't understand that. Like,
have a look on BitChute. Have a look on BitChute. It's George Floyd on gun violence.
I don't give a monkeys. Like, why would I feel sorry for George Floyd?
What a do, Oct? What a do, panel?
What's up?
Yeah, man. You guys don't mind I play devil's advocate later on, will you?
Are you gonna send for Floyd too?
No. I got no.
That'd be pretty big.
No, I wanted to play devil's advocate on that other the one in Frisco, Texas. No, Floyd gets no sympathy. That guy, I'm actually surprised he got a scholarship, because this is a guy who didn't know how to boil hot water. Didn't his brother go on the stand and said this dude, they used to eat banana mayonnaise sandwiches together because he didn't know how to boil hot water?
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember hearing something about that.
Damn. But he cooked coke though. He sold coke, so he had to know how to boil water.
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
This happens to people. They go down and down and down. You see much better people than George Floyd. Whether it's drugs or alcohol or something else.
So are you saying that
human weakness?
George Floyd, without the drugs, he wouldn't have been.
If he hadn't got into drugs, he could have been a footballer or a basketball player
or a rapper.
Let me show y'all what he talking about, man. Let me show y'all what he talking about. This George Floyd speech that this dude is talking about. Jesus Christ!
I've woken up to craziness.
My man is just nuts.
You have to clip that statement back.
Shout out to the UK, but you can't spell cuck without UK.
And simple to use. It uses an easy
or fucked.
Yeah, that too.
But you gotta like the real actual
taste
of this. Yeah, so big.
Straight pouch, dog. Check out our new chat feature for live streams. Support creators with chat bombs. Try now.
That's the video I uploaded.
Really? He condemned?
I can't wait to see that.
Just want to speak to y'all real quick.
Oh my God!
I just want to say,
Fire
man,
alarm.
that I got my shortcomings and my flaws.
Oh, that's not.
I ain't
No,
better
that's
than
the
nobody
smoke
else.
alarm. Yeah.
But man, it's
Hold on, let's try to hear this one.
A smoke detector, not smoke alarm.
what's happening. Just want to speak to y'all real quick. I just want to say, man, that I got my shortcomings and my flaws. And I ain't better than nobody else. But man, the shootings is going on, man. I don't care what hood you from, man. Where you at, man? I love you and God love you, man. Put them guns down, man. That ain't what it is, you know. God bless, man, and y'all hold y'all head up, man. You got parents out here sending plates, man, trying to bury their kids, man. Think about it, man. Love y'all.
Profound.
Yeah, job.
I got something to say after clip
Oh,
two.
my homegirl Nikki from South Lawn lost her son, man. Our young generation is clearly lost, man. Clearly lost, man. Like I don't even know what to say no more, man. Like you youngsters just going around just busting guns in crowds, kids getting killed, you know, and it's clearly the generation after us, man, that's so lost, man. You know, man, I came into Houston and told me, yeah, Floyd, that young truth, man, right there, because he could bust a gun. Man, I knew it was crazy then. My age saying this here, man. You know what I'm saying? And condoning this, bro. You know what I'm saying? And like half them young shooting them guns go home and they knees shaking at night. But they don't show it to nobody because, you know, they ain't tough then. Hey, man, come on home, man. One day it's going to be you and God. You going up or you going down. You know what I'm saying?
I think I know which way you went.
Okay,
This
he's not very
military
bright.
illegal. This is the Starscope Monocular, the most
You know-
powerful pocket telescope the world has ever seen, and it's finally available to the public, at least for now. Listen,
You know that. You
He's
know
not very
that this is the same guy who committed a B&E, breaking and entering, on a pregnant female, and put his gun to her stomach. That's the same guy.
I know what they did, but I say he's not very bright. But does that sound to you like a man who's got no redemption at all?
No,
Oh, I think he has
I can
redemption.
understand. I can understand why how Alexander could see that, or somebody could see that, and because Floyd is he's a street dude. He got game. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a personable guy. You know what I mean? All sons are like that. That's our gift. Talking like we're gifted like that. You know what I mean? You could go to any neighborhood and find a bunch of guys that have done more shit than George Floyd, way worse than George Floyd, that are, you know, talk like, yeah, man, young boys need to stop this shit. Young boys are, I mean, that type of talk is a dime a dozen too, because Alexander Barron doesn't come from a community where that's always happening. So he don't know that type of talk is a dime a dozen from a nigga in his 40s or late 30s. Every nigga done talk like that. Man, these young boys out here, man, they doing so much shooting. That's nothing.
That was
That's like talking about the game,
Hammer, bro.
That was genuine regret. That was
yeah,
genuine.
but that's like talking about the game last night. That's like, man, you see LeBron last night, that dunk he had. There's shootings and killings all the time. Him saying that is not like nothing. He's just talking about maybe what happened. Maybe somebody he knows got shot, or maybe, you know, something happens. So you go on, make a little TikTok like, yeah, man.
It's saying don't make the mistakes I made. That's what it's saying.
Ayak, you remember MC Hammer? He was doing all that stuff, you know, preaching against stopping the violence, but behind the scenes, he was getting at another rapper to the point where,
MC Hammer wasn't like a gang banger though. I mean, he just didn't take shit off people. You know what I'm saying? He's that's a different case. MC Hammer was like more like, we just make our music and don't get in our way. He wasn't like part of a gang or part of a criminal enterprise.
His brother was.
Oh, I didn't know that. I don't know. I didn't know that if she
Yo,
had a brother.
this is a perfect example of how white liberals get conned by sons. You see
Yeah,
you see how genuine he was? He doesn't know
yeah,
sons though.
yeah. He doesn't know that. That's a dime a dozen. That shit. He probably thought that shit was profound or something. That shit ain't. And plus, too, like the things that gliders don't have to talk about. Like gliders would never have to talk about young people in my community stop shooting. So they would never be able to understand that, like how pointless and just like that for a son to say that is. Like a son.
If you think I'm a liberal, you made a big mistake, baby. A really big mistake.
Yeah, but gliders, yeah,
Alexander, you would
gliders.
lose your argument by that statement alone.
Sorry?
Yeah.
I said you would lose your argument of I'm not a liberal by the statement of I feel sorry for George Floyd.
Well, you check out my main website. And you
I actually do agree. Hey, Ak, there was another irony. I don't know if you remember, it was a long time ago. Miami Hurricanes football player Brian Pata and his own teammate.
He got arrested in a BLM shirt. Yeah, his teammate got arrested.
So talk about irony.
Yeah. But the team held it down. The team didn't snitch for 20 years, and all the players knew who did it.
Dang, that I didn't know. That I did not know.
Yeah, you think somebody gets shot on a fucking team? One player shoots another player, and nobody on the team knows it? You serious?
Hey.
Never been on the team before?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, we got teen sentence after shooting OSU.
Damn, I didn't even know about that. I didn't even know about that one.
The man who shot retired Ohio State wrestler Sammy Sasso will spend at least a decade in prison. A judge handing down that sentence just moments ago. Kate Seifert was in the courtroom where Sammy Sasso spoke to Elijah Lee and the judge. Kate?
Hey, good afternoon, Terry. As you mentioned, 18-year-old Elijah Lee, as you said, will spend at least 10 years behind bars after shooting and injuring OSU wrestler Sammy Sasso. Sammy Sasso gave a victim statement during a court today, starting off by saying it has been extremely difficult to try and put into words how this incident has impacted his life. But he is thanking the Columbus community today for the outpouring of support that they gave him while he was recovering. The one thing he did say is that he hopes that after this afternoon, he can move forward with his life, despite losing the one thing he loved the most in his life, which was wrestling.
One of the biggest pills I had to swallow from this was that I might never be able to wrestle again. A lifetime dedicated to a sport and my craft, nearly 20 years dedicated to becoming a Division I NCAA champion. I've been in the finals twice before. I've taken second twice. I was coming back for my senior year, and my last chance to go accomplish this dream of mine that I've had since a little kid was just taken away.
Sasso was shot back in August 2023 near Ohio State's campus. Elijah Lee, who was 16 years old at the time of the shooting, was arrested just a few weeks later in connection to the crime. Sasso suffered severe injuries, spending more than 40 days in the hospital and going through months of rehab. Those injuries ultimately leading to the end of his wrestling career.
I look like I'm in good health and everything's been fixed. But the truth is my left leg might never be the same again. And it's a struggle. That's a battle I've had to deal with mentally and physically. And with that, the whole trajectory of my life changed.
Back in February, OSU wrestling coach Tom Ryan announced Sasso would be retiring from his wrestling career, but he finished as one of the most accomplished wrestlers in Buckeye history with 106 career victories. He was also a two-time Big Ten champion, a four-time All-American, and two-time NCAA runner-up. Again, a judge sentencing Elijah Lee, 18-year-old Lee, to at least 10 years behind.
10 years behind bars? What do y'all think about that?
No, man, he's gonna what, be eligible for parole in 5 to 7 years. I hate this 10 to 14 years crap.
It's a slap on the.
He didn't kill him though. He didn't kill the guy.
Right, and I agree, but
it's still attempted murder. Like it could still be considered attempted murder.
Exactly.
Or aggravated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this eligibility for parole, like, within 5 to 7 years, he'll most likely get out. At best case scenario, I can see him getting out in 5 years. Best case scenario.
Nah, he'll do 8. He'll do 8. Yeah. But let's see, man. We have a shooting here.
We've got new information tonight in connection with the shooting of a pizza shop worker. That employee is recovering tonight after being shot on the job.
Police aren't saying what led to this, but they say the robbery unit is investigating. Isabel Hansen spoke with another employee there today. How's he feeling?
Jessica, he tells me he worries about being shot himself every day while delivering pizzas. While he was not at Donato's when the shooting happened, he says it's alarming. Another employee did hear it all and called 911 last night.
I'm at work. I'm at Donato's on High Street, and my manager just got shot.
A frantic call to 911 from the Donato's in Clintonville.
Did the manager just got shot?
He just got shot, yes.
Okay, is the person who shot him still there?
I have no idea. He's laying on the ground.
Police tape surrounded the pizza shop Sunday night just before 11.
Hi, this is 911.
All I saw was the guy kneeling down on his knees, and he was saying, "Please God." Okay, now there's another employee kneeling over him. She's helping him.
A Columbus police sergeant tells me the victim's an adult man and he's expected to survive.
He doesn't know where he got shot, but I'm trying. Just in the stomach, I think.
Oh, the stomach.
Yes, it's right. I'm putting it where I think he got shot.
Do not take it off.
As the worker recovers, neighbors want to know the status of the suspect.
The security cameras everywhere nowadays, you know what I mean? Like, they're probably going to find them.
Police haven't released any information about the suspect, but the employee told the dispatcher the type of car involved.
Caller, so you said it was a white Audi SUV?
Yes, that's what he said.
Detectives on the case did not release what led to the shooting, but the CPD robbery unit's leading the investigation.
It's freaky. I mean, it's always, especially when it's this close, like, you like to think that you can just walk around at night and it's going to be chill, but, you never know.
Donato sent us a statement that reads in part, quote, "We care deeply about the well-being of our team members, and Donato's Pizza will work with the police department through the entirety of this investigation."
Salute to Saul, man. He says, "Oh shit, how would you feel if you hadn't had breakfast?" I forgot how I'm supposed to answer this one. I remember I answered it wrong last time, like a son. I'm trying to answer it like a glider now. How would I feel if I hadn't had breakfast? I would feel hungry. That's how son answers. Is that the son answer?
No, the manager did have breakfast. It just happened to have lead in it.
Tell me, Chad, did I answer like a son or a glider? Because I forgot how you're supposed to answer that one. Salute to Doug G, man. He says, "Hi, maybe hold on. Salute to Deluxe 247, aka Cal Ripken, aka the real MVP, coming through once again. Salute to Doug G says, "Hi, maybe there was no trauma because the baby's missing braid was weave." Jesus Christ. Wow. Ray Wall says, "Shout out to Ock Nation, the place where you get an in-depth analysis of the Negro, our destruction of society, and how other races deal with us." Shout out to Ray Wall, man. He's stupid, man. Make sure y'all support the channel via PayPal, Cash App, Super Chat. Make sure you hit the like button, man. Smash the like button. So let's look. Uh-oh.
And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. We're continuing our coverage on a deadly stabbing case out of Frisco, Texas. The case has made national headlines and stirred up racial division around the relationship between the victim and the suspect. My next guest has tonight's update.
And joining us on The Factor Uncensored, we have with us former prosecutor and criminal defense attorney Bayoji Akingbala. And what we're seeing now is a reduction.
Look at that son, man.
That's your people, Ak.
You see that?
Oh,
That
man.
right there?
Yo, Ak,
Your
was that
tribesman.
you 10 years ago, bro?
No. No, that triangle right there, that's a sun trait right there. Let me see that in some people. The skull shape right look like that. That's a sun trait.
Yeah.
Like
Speaking of sons, all of my son friends are siding with the Karmelo Anthony side, but I don't blame them.
Jesus Christ.
I don't blame them.
And they're not usually friends, bro.
Reduction in the bond.
Yeah, all of them. 100%
Actually, not all of them, except one.
Yeah, I mean, see, here's the thing. On social media, you have social media and you have real life, right?
Yeah.
So, like, social media, like, for instance, I'm the only person anybody I know knows personally, that I know personally, any black people that I know personally, I'm the only person that voted for Trump, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my family, a lot of people in my family, they live in D.C. and work in the government and whatnot, and they calling me and they complaining that, you know, because Trump been that they lose their jobs and whatnot. But I'm the only person that they know that voted for Trump. So it's like it's kind of like, but online, there's a lot of black people that I like. Oh y'all, blah blah blah. Blah, blah. But in real life, black people are way more codified, or what is the word? They're way more. Like if you think they're racist online, you think they're the monolith online. In real life, they're way more of a monolith. Online gives you more of a diaspora of black thought. You know,
even the last son who snitched on me. But go ahead.
It's funny how some people say they don't, like, you can't say that about all Sun people, but it's like you guys are more. The Suns are more of a monolith than gliders are. They just don't want to get called out.
Way more than a monolith the gliders are.
Yeah, you're not going to get an argument out of me for that one. Yeah.
Criminal defense attorney Bayoji Akingbala. And what we're seeing now is a reduction in the bond of Karmelo Anthony and the killing of Austin Metcalf in a community just north of Houston. And it's been a major controversy. People have taken sides, black versus white. Just strange and very sad that it has come down to this. But there was a reduction in his bond, Karmelo Anthony, the 17-year-old black kid accused of killing the 17-year-old white kid. Tell us what the bond has gone from and to and your thoughts about it.
Yeah, the bond was reduced from $1 million to $250,000, and given the circumstances of that case, it's definitely an appropriate reduction. For an individual as young as Mr. Anthony is, 17, my understanding is no substantial or, if any, prior criminal history. He certainly has significant ties to the community. That being said, he doesn't show himself to be a flight risk. He should be able to make his court appearances. On top of that, they have to demonstrate, given the lack of history, that he's not going to be a continuing harm to the community. Those are all of the factors that the court is to consider. What it shouldn't consider or presume is his guilt. And so when you look at a bond amount as high as $1 million, it almost presumes him to be guilty. And certainly we've heard through various outlets that there is a self-defense claim that's being raised, and he's entitled to raise that defense. And so while he's raising that defense, the court needs to give him an opportunity to be able to bond out, which will make it a lot more better for him in terms of preparing for his upcoming trial.
Now, we know there has been a racial divide in this case with the suspect being black. the victim being white. Was there a rush to judgment when this bond was initially set at $1 million? Well, did the public play a role in the judge deciding that, or the magistrate deciding that?
Well, I certainly never want to get into the mind of a judge. Different judges have different criteria in terms of how they would like to establish a bond amount. It is a murder case, and we do typically see for murder cases, bonds tend to be substantially higher compared to other alleged crimes. And it's also one that garnered a lot of public media attention. And certainly judges who, in Texas anyways, have to be.
Yeah, but all that was done before it became a big trial. Like
yeah, and he's not a flight risk. I mean, he's a stab risk. But what I wanted to ask is Texas 10%. Is it a 10%?
I think that's almost every state. It's pretty much 10%.
Okay. Texas is a very interesting state because it you can pay the bondsman on a payment plan.
So that is new to me.
Yeah.
And I keep hearing that, and I visited Dallas before, and I keep hearing people saying, don't mess with Texas. But when I was over there, I found nothing about Texas stereotypes that were really, present at the time. But I was only there on business.
I love how the presenters don't, people were quick to judge. People were quick to. That is exactly what happens with any police and son case. Sons are quick to judge and they don't want to listen to any facts. This one is now give grace for facts. There needs to be time for defense, but they never. It's just the hypocrisy is just unbelievable.
Yeah,
and also talking about he's 17 and infantilizing him. He's 17. I'm sorry.
Most violent offender. Well, I don't know nowadays, but a good portion of violent offenders are in his age group. So, what does that have anything to do with? But here's a devil's advocate that I'm going to play though. I look at both sides. I listen to both sides. I didn't want to judge right away off of it until the details came out. So here's what I'm hearing. I don't know if this is true, that it was 2 against 1, and that's why he pulled out his knife, because it was the twin brothers that looked like they were getting ready to jump him. And that was the main reason why he pulled it out. Now, was that knife really a weapon? Some said it was actually a tool. He just happened to use it as a weapon. One of those little utility knives. Again, I don't know. I haven't seen a photo of it. If there's a photo of it, I may have a different opinion.
There was a photo of it. It's a knife, but here's the thing. We don't know. I will say this. I don't know anything other than other things that out of the police report. So in the police report, no one said that. No one said anything of those things. When they interviewed the witnesses moments after it happened, the people who were there, none of them said anything the niggas who don't know either one of these people online are saying.
And what was another thing? They were also saying that the twin had different stories when he was on NBC and was MSNBC, and then when he was on Fox.
Listen.
He's just watched his brother die in his arms. I'm sorry if 1 minute his back was turned, the other minute he saw it. If that little bit he's going to get incorrect, I personally don't care. But also, we also, to kind of come back on your devil's advocate. I'm sorry, these twins are at a track meet. They're seeing this little gremlin. This gremlin has no impact on their life, except he is from a different school. And anything that's into school, you're so proud of your school and you have, your inter-school rivalry. So if there's it's basically an enemy sitting in your camp, you're like, get out. It's not your school. And you have to think of their lives and everything they had. This is so insignificant to them to just tell another guy, hey, can you come out of our thing? I don't feel that they were going to fight him or jump him. It's a bag they moved, and it's just telling him to get out. At the most, they would have got their coach or teacher to come and remove him.
Yeah, to think that that guy was gonna he's gonna kill this black kid over that in front of all these people. That doesn't even sound right. But we did last week. We did the police report, the official police report. Well, the 3 or 4 cops interviewed witnesses immediately after the incident, including Karmelo Anthony. So it's like to listen to anything somebody's saying online who wasn't there is almost like you're stupid now. Like you're a fool for that. Not saying you, but if you listen to if you got the police report and then you listen, hey man, I heard it did that. Austin really he had 3 arms, so he says he got 3 arms. Austin's like, ain't no way I can win this fight. I got to pull out a knife. Like, I mean, like, what's the point of listening to anything from any of those people when you just heard the police report? It's stupid. Like, it just, I got everything I need from the police report, and that's what's going to be done in court. And then now, will witnesses change their testimony? Maybe then, if witnesses on the scene now say, oh yeah, actually it went like this, or actually Austin was doing it, then we can take that. Okay. But somebody who wasn't there, somebody on TikTok, somebody on social media versus the official police report.
I just want to say this. The thing about with the victims changing their stories is it happened so fast and it was so traumatic. Of course, like your brain is not going to register everything that happens. You know, so minute, like it depends on what the discrepancies are. If they're in minutia, like
But that doesn't even matter either. Let me tell you why it doesn't matter. Because you're on a whirlwind tour. You're being interviewed. You've gone from not doing any interviews to being interviewed like 20, 30 times in the course of a weekend, right? From different news agencies, and they're all asking you questions slightly differently. They're all asking you the same questions slightly differently. And
try to catch you up.
people,
Yeah,
and you're giving different answers because that's how people are. You say, you know, we talk differently. You know what I'm saying? Like at different to different people. If different people ask us the same question, if somebody asks me, how do I feel like today's show was? I might be like, yeah, it was good. And then somebody asked me, compared to every show in the history of Rock Nation, how was today's show? I'd be like, well, it was all right. And then the other person asked me, yeah, considering all the other shows you've seen on social on YouTube from other YouTubers on this topic, what do you think this show ranks? I'm like, damn, they'll give a different like everybody's not asking you the same question, reading off the same sheet. They're all asking you about the topic, but they're all asking you. They're all trying to be provocative and get different information. So it's like, of course, your answers are going to be different when you're just taking a survey of all his answers from the different publications, different networks that interviewed them directly after his twin brother died in his arms. Let's see.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say another thing I keep hearing of differing stories is the track meet. Was it a community sponsored one, or was it actually sponsored officially by the school? Because that can be a big thing too, right there.
Why would that matter?
Well, if it's sponsored by the community, you can have a knife with you or something because it's not school property.
No, it is on school property.
Oh, it is.
And another thing is, well, it doesn't matter if it's sponsored by the school or the community. It's still open to the public regardless.
Yeah, exactly. And this Kukin, it was at a stadium where they have track meets. I don't think it was on their school property, but it was at a stadium where they have those track meets. And but yeah, like all that stuff gonna get adjudicated in court.
On tonight's Breaking Bond, a 61-year-old man.
This is Texas. This is Houston.
On tonight's Breaking Bond, a 61-year-old man with 29 felony convictions was free from jail on a personal recognizance bond when police say he stabbed a 53-year-old man to death.
Wow, Fox 26's Randy Wallace is joining us live from
29 convictions and he got a bond.
Jeez.
Texas.
courthouse with the latest in his ongoing series Breaking Bond. Randy.
Sorry?
Yeah, Ross, now
Well,
Ronald
that's
Wayne
like what
James
this guy
has been
Black
arrested more
Redemption.
than 50 times. Some of those arrests were for assaulting people, but that didn't stop a magistrate from giving him a PR bond or get out of jail free card. That decision may have cost Frank Cartwright his life. Ronald Wayne James, a 29-time convicted felon, got his first big break at the courthouse last year. He was facing 3 felonies, including aggravated assault of a public servant.
Goes in, finds 2 people there, assaults both of them. They call police. Police get there. He's still there. The officer has to fight with him and gets hurt. He assaulted the officer. Yet when he goes to court, what do? We're going to dismiss those 2 assault cases.
James was sentenced to 298 days in jail, but with time served, he was free the day he pled guilty to just 1 charge, burglary. Last month, James was given a personal recognizance or get out of jail free card for a misdemeanor assault charge.
This individual's been arrested over 60 times since 1985.
According to the McDonald.
60 times. This is Floyd. This is George Floyd. This is just the life.
Wow.
This is just, and here's the thing. He could have a video. He could possibly, it could be a rash of shootings in his neighborhood. One little crew is beefing with another little crew. And he could get on TikTok and be like, man, these young boys out here, man, let me tell y'all young boys out here, y'all need to slow down, man. Think about what you're doing, man. Because once you get behind the walls, man, in jail with that murder charge, man, it ain't no coming home, man. Love y'all, man. Peace out. I mean, and it's just like, it's still this guy, though. The same fucking
that's
guy.
what I was asking. That's what I was asking Alexander. Like, does this guy deserve redemption?
No, this is what's called serving a life sentence on the instalment plan. It's very easy. When you get down, it's difficult to get up. I've been there, you know. I've been there, and I've been lucky, but many others haven't, you know.
Yeah, but I'm saying that I don't feel sorry for you if you got down in the first place, because that's your own choice to get down. Like I don't feel sorry for you.
I think what Alexander's saying is like, okay, like as a person, should we feel sorry for him? I say, fine, do whatever you want. As a society with laws, given what he's done, can I feel sorry for him and can he still be punished according to the laws? So what do you think about that, Alexander? Can we feel sorry for him and be like, damn, it's fucked up, you know? It still require. Hold on, can we still require that he's been arrested 60 times?
It's a waste of life, yeah. It's a waste of life.
Can we do both? Because I feel like, look, man, I can feel sorry like when my kids, and sometimes I gotta punish my kids, man. Gotta take away the tablet. And I feel bad, you know what I'm saying? But still gotta take away the tablet. Or you know what I'm saying?
I'll link to another video I did.
Is this what some people would call restorative justice? Is to give, you know, this gentleman, I don't want to call him a gentleman, this man, his bond?
I think they call it in a Sun jurisdiction.
Yeah.
The level of crime, the amount of people that are being arrested, the sheer amount of violent crime, burglaries, and things that go on, that if you do lock everybody up every time, you're going to have to build a jail the size of goddamn CCOT in every metropolitan area. So sometimes you do no paper, like in DC, they no paper a lot of stuff. They just no paper. Just you go in front of the judge and he said no paper. And whatever you did, it never happened, right? Or they say case dismissed. And then a lot of times they'll PR you. They'll just personal recognizance. Because there's not enough. In DC, they had to take over the mental institution. They had not a mental institution, but they had like a jail they had a jail, and then they had another jail for like people with like like mental problems, whatever, they had to co-opt that jail and use it for the regular jail.
Oh wow.
And there's always, and if you go to any black district, black jurisdiction, the jail's always overcrowded. You know what I'm saying? The jail is the city jail or the county jail is overcrowded.
Right.
So a lot of that has to do with that too, because there's no place to put all these people. But in cases like this, where you got people that defy that like, okay, this guy, we got to find a spot for this guy. In black jurisdictions, the people fought for that. They fought for the citizens fought for lenient the law abiding citizens, the people that'll be victimized by these people, fought for these laws to be changed and fought for the laws to benefit the criminals. And they're just getting what they demanded. If you saw the last 5
That's the
years.
issue that I have mainly when it comes to politics is what you just explained, Ak. That's one of my biggest issues. I heard earlier someone about if some people can be redeemed. I do think almost anybody can be redeemed, but should they be out in society? No, not everyone who can be redeemed should be out in society. They can be redeemed and still stay where they're at.
If you look at go ahead.
I've just posted 2 links. The first one is very short. The videos are made a while back.
All right, let me see this. Let me just show you this. He's got a very consistent, like a consistent arrest sheet.
Excuse the pun.
Like look at this. I mean, if you look at the dates, 92, 97, 99, 99, 2000, 2000, 2002, 2003, 2005, 2005, 2005, 2006, 2006, 2007, 2007. He gets arrested like 2 or 3 times a year. And as we can see, in the last 30 years, he hasn't done any prison time because he's getting arrested multiple times every year. And you can only get arrested when you're on the street. So it's like he hasn't done any prison time. He's been arrested all these times in the last 30 years, and he's never gone away for a stretch. He's never gone to prison.
You notice there was a 5-year gap at the beginning.
Oh.
No, yeah, at the beginning. That's what I said in the last
5-year gap.
But no,
you got a 1-year gap.
Gap. You know,
no, he obviously went to prison. No, he obviously went to prison during that time. But I'm talking about in the last 30 years. I'm talking about the last 30 years. In the last 30 years, he hasn't been to prison, right? In the last 30 years, he hasn't been to prison, but he gets arrested 2 or 3 times a year. And these are serious crimes. Assaults, things like that, burglaries.
Well, what does assault mean? Assault could be anything.
Actual bodily harm in British terms. Aggravated assault is grievous bodily harm. Like I'm trying to translate it into British legal terms.
You don't even
So like simple assault.
You don't even have to touch somebody to commit assault.
Yeah, but why are you playing that game?
Some of these are mistaken.
No. What does assault mean, though?
Assault.
Let me explain to him what assault is.
I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there.
If you spit on someone, that's considered assault. You're technically not touching them, but it is a foreign body.
Not a crime of the century, though, is it?
Here goes the description of one of his assaults. All right.
Servant
goes in, finds 2 people there, assaults both of them. They call police. Police get there. He's still there. The officer has to fight with him and gets hurt. He assaulted the officer. Yet when he goes to court, what do they do? We're going to dismiss those 2 assault cases.
James was sentenced to 298 days in jail, but with time served, he was free the day he pled guilty to just 1 charge, burglary. Last month, James was given a personal reconnaissance or get out of jail free card for a misdemeanor assault charge.
This individual's been arrested over 60 times since 1985.
According to the McDonald Misdemeanor Bond Reform Decree, defendants charged with assault are not allowed to get PR bonds.
You're talking about magistrates. Magistrates are not accountable to anyone except Commissioner's Court.
James is not the only misdemeanor assault defendant who's given a PR bond.
He doesn't even have a prefrontal cortex. So if anything, I'll give him a break for that. He doesn't have a prefrontal cortex. I would give him more of a break for that than I would for any of the shit Alexander Byrne talking about. But then I still have to be like, yeah, we still got laws though, so we still gotta abide by law.
You should get more for the burglary. You should get more for the burglary. Burglary is a serious offence, especially residential.
There are hundreds and hundreds of defendants charged in county court with assault cases that were given PR bonds.
James even violated the PR bond, but was allowed to remain free. That decision may have cost 53-year-old Frank Cartwright his life.
None of this should happen.
Last week, police say James got into an argument with Frank Cartwright at a Popeyes at 9503 Jensen. James allegedly stabbed Cartwright to death. If a magistrate wouldn't have given James a PR bond, Frank Cartwright would likely be alive.
So he stabbed that guy to death after an argument. I like Karmelo Anthony.
Yeah. Now, some
Frank
people
Cartwright,
have,
who paid the
compared
ultimate.
it. Oh, go ahead.
Good.
I was going to say that some people have compared it to the George Zimmerman Trayvon Martin case, the Karmelo Anthony and Austin.
Nah. It ain't even nothing like that, man. Some people compare it to Emmett Till. They compare everything to
The ultimate price, that is his life, because of decisions that were made.
I'd hate to hear what Alexander Barron knows or thinks about George Zimmerman. Golly, man. I would have to take a drink. I would need a drink to hear you talk about George Zimmerman case.
That allowed a habitual career offender like Ronald James to remain in the community.
What would you do if a guy's following you around?
James is bond for the
following a woman around in the darkness. He was told by the police, the operators, not to go near him.
I'm cool. Thank you, man. Appreciate you, man. Please.
Anyway, I don't feel sorry for that guy in general, and also as a member of society, he needs to be under the jail. I just think if you have more mugshots than life events like weddings, parties, and so forth, like your life is useless.
To the woman in, sorry, I don't know your name. Actually, can I ask your name so I can address you?
Pantheon.
Pantheon. Okay, awesome. So Pantheon, the last time I was in the UK, are you from the UK?
Yeah.
Okay, so the last time I was in the UK, it was around 2011. I stayed in the Lewisham area, and there was a big up. I don't know. It looked like it was an uprising because of
the London riots.
Yeah, the
Yes.
so-called London riots.
Yes.
The police shot Mark Duggan.
Yes, I was there.
Murdered him. They murdered him.
They didn't murder him. He was a gangbanger.
Yeah, I still murdered him.
He was a gangbanger. I'm sorry. He wasn't walking down the street outside Harrods, was he? He was a gangbanger with what did he have on him? He had something on him, and they'd been trailing him. And as such happens in the US, gangbangers and police do not get along. He ended up dying.
Yeah, I kind of thought something like that. I didn't really look into it, but I remember when I flew down there and how I saw it was a station on Blackfriars Road, and the whole I couldn't even go through it. I had to get off of the tube. They call it the tube. I had to get off the tube, walk a bit of ways to get to another station, which I forgot. But I couldn't continue on through Blackfriars Road. I don't know what. I'm guessing that was the result of the riot.
Yeah, because it spread, and then it became looting, and all the young people. It just became an opportunity to loot and just cause chaos. But it started because the police ended up shooting, armed, and obviously our armed police will only come out for very specific things. So they were already dealing with him. So it's because he died that it just spread, his family and everything.
The leftists causing trouble.
I thought so. That's right. I thought that the police don't bring out a firearm unless it is for special circumstance.
Our armed police are essentially SWAT. They have to be called out for gangs or specific circumstances. So Mark Duggan was essentially a bit like Chris Carver in the sense of another gangbanger.
Murdered too.
Wait, what What was the name? It cut
Chris
off.
Carver. Chris Carver was
He was
2 years
murdered
ago.
too. He was murdered too.
He wasn't murdered. He was trying to run over police officers, having
I wouldn't
shot
call
someone else in a club 2 days prior.
If you want to see the gold standard of police takedowns, the two scum who murdered Lee Rigby. Watch the video. You'll find the video on YouTube. Watch the police take them down without killing them, and they should have killed them. That is the gold.
I'm
standard.
sorry. So now
That is the gold standard.
Now, so the police officers murdered 2 gangbangers, but 2 Muslim converters.
But they're just
to desert demons.
They just hacked the guy's head off.
Who then kill a soldier walking from his barracks when now all those 3 are in the same camp.
They're just trying to hack his head off. But that was the gold standard of police takedowns.
No, I'm sorry. I'm trying to understand the point you're making, Alexander.
Run the video. You'll see.
No, I'm trying to understand the point. There should be sympathy to Chris Carver and Mark Duggan, 2 gangbangers.
Wasn't necessary to kill Mark Duggan. No way.
No, there shouldn't be sympathy, but
when the investigator, the police wouldn't even talk to the investigators. They were allowed to confer.
Why shouldn't they? Sorry, what's Mark Duggan's like? Like, what is his life worth?
Oh, here we go.
No, what is his life worth?
Well, nothing now, obviously.
No, but what is his life worth? Like, how are you going to literally put Lee Rigby in the same sentence?
Yeah, they're not the same. They're not the same.
What happened there? They hacked this guy's head off. They're running towards the police cars. But as far as the police, I'm not police. As far as the police know, they could be wearing suicide vests. Yeah, they took them down professionally. Run the video, Ak, and you'll see what I mean.
Well, the guy, as ironic as this is going to sound, he wasn't acting irrational because he was talking to the cameras too. He wasn't coming at the cameras. He didn't really show.
Exactly. He was on top of his body. Like, oh, I've just done this. This is for jihad. This is for this. We hate the UK. Everything. As opposed to someone trying to run you over with their car.
And then they ran towards the police vehicle. Run the video, Ak. You see what I mean?
Yeah, running towards the police as opposed to being in a car trying to run over the police.
Yeah, but they could have been wired up with suicide vests.
Yeah, Alexander, I don't know what you woke up to this morning, but your statements since I joined have been insanity. I'm sorry.
Well, you don't know the police as well as I do.
No, but you have sympathy for George Floyd. This guy, James, Mark Duggan shouldn't have been killed. Chris Carver shouldn't have been killed. The police are murderers.
George Floyd was a wasted life. It could have been better.
He grew. Once he was born, he was a useless part of society. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
Mark Duggan
I wouldn't say once he was born, but I get what you're saying. But I wouldn't say because again, parental figures play a role in that.
1944, I think it was. There was a black kid. A gang of them. They were doing robberies. He got 3 years. Joe. I think 10. He was out 3 years. Right. His name was Chuck Berry. Was his life worthless?
Chuck Berry. That's not the same Chuck Berry I'm thinking about.
The most
not the musician.
The most influential figure in music, in rock music.
So what's his legacy? Rock music. What's George Floyd's legacy? Burning, being the catalyst of burning down multiple cities.
Chuck Berry could have ended up the same way as George Floyd, couldn't he?
He could have, but he didn't.
And he came from a good home.
And we're looking at George Floyd. He's like 51 or whatever when he died. I'm sorry, that's a big grown man.
48.
Actually, I would say Chuck Berry was known for doing what R. Kelly did before what R. Kelly did. But anyway,
no, nothing like that. Nothing like as bad as that.
Well, he was filmed. Let's just yeah.
Yeah, I just think saying that, Mark Duggan was murdered, he was murdered. No, he was justifiably taken out. Chris Carver was justifiably taken out.
What clip is that? Oh, yeah, that looks like, that definitely looks like what? Looks like Tottenham.
Anyway, to kind of go back to the main point, London obviously is used to gangbangers. We are not used to terrorism. So there will be a very different reaction.
You're not used to terrorism? Are you seriously?
No, we're not used to terrorism on our streets. We had the IRA. We had the IRA, but with desert demon desert demon terrorism is still fairly new to us as a city.
IRA was mostly in Northern Ireland. I mean, they did a couple attacks in England.
They do attacks in
They
London.
did a lot here.
Very rarely,
They
but
did a lot in
Really
London, but I'm
London.
talking about desert demon terrorism. So,
Yeah, I thought
and even the IRA were not.
They
The IRA were not trying to cut
Downing
off
Street. What are you
people's
talking
heads
about?
on the
They tried
street.
to attack the Prime Minister at Downing Street. What are you talking about?
The IRA were not trying to behead people on London streets. So there's
No,
going to be
they
a
weren't.
very different reaction to police who are encountering such a situation for the first time, as opposed to gangbangers who they have been dealing with in central London for decades. I'm sorry, Mark Duggan and Chris Carver were justifiably taken out.
Yeah, I don't know the whole
And,
story.
I'm
on
not
that, but
going
if
to give them any sympathy to gangbangers dying. Like I have negative sympathy to give them.
George Floyd was a waste of space for the day he was born, right?
Basically. I'm sure by age 17, we look at Austin. Austin had all these accolades. I'm sure at 17, George Floyd probably had a few criminal convictions which were squashed, and then he became an adult.
But it was useless from the day he was born, right? That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I had an expungement, so I know exactly what you were talking about.
I mean, if we compare Austin and George Floyd at age 17, there's probably a massive difference between the two of them.
Oh, I would believe so. I don't know for sure, but I would, use my discernment and go with that. Regula Degula in the chat. I remember seeing him in Obsidian Ali's live chat. Shout out to him.
Yeah, so when you talk about the UK, man,
Oh,
I'll never visit there again. I've
yeah,
seen
but
everything
anyway,
I
your
wanted
first mistake as
in
freak was
England.
going to Lewisham. Like, you shouldn't have gone to Lewisham.
That's where I stayed
Knife
at.
crime reached an all-time high in 2019.
Yeah, that was your first mistake.
Now, in 2020, and in the middle of the pandemic, it still shows no signs of slowing down. With America experiencing their problems with gun control and public shootings, would it be fair to say the UK is having a similar problem with knife crime? I'll be meeting up with some of those people and charities who are working on the front line and fighting against this ever-going crisis.
In the year ending March 2020, there were around 46,000 offences involving a knife or sharp instrument in England and Wales alone. I start my journey in the northwest of the UK. In October 2020, there were a shocking 22 knife incidents in the Greater Manchester area, making it by far the worst month on record for knife crime in the city.
Manchester in the early 2000s was infamously branded Gunchester. Now, 20 years on, gun crime has dropped by up to 60% in the area, just as knife crime starts to spiral out of control. So what's the reason for these shifts in numbers?
I managed to chat with Matthew, an ex-gang leader of the famous Rusholme Mandem. Matthew was infamously known as one of Manchester's most feared gangsters in the early 2000s.
Group of friends, it's not like you go up one day and think I want to be a gangster. It's just a group of friends. Someone from another area hurts your friends, you go back and retaliate. They might bring a knife or bring a gun, so you've got to match what they bring. And then before you know it, you're a gang. Selling drugs, because my mum was a single mum, we tried the hardest, but dad was a bum, he was never there for us. So my mum can only do so much. When you're 12, 13 and you want the nice coats and the nice trainers, that costs, and you got 4 boys.
In 2011, Matthew sadly lost his brother to a knife crime attack when he decided enough was enough.
I wasted 7 years of my life. My brother's dead, my other brother's been stabbed, I've been shot. See my mum cry. For what? For a street name. You don't own that house. Let's be real, you don't own that house. So what are we fighting for? A lot to do with its parents, no resources for the kids, this drill music, no role models. Teachers are overrun, social workers are overrun, mental health workers are overrun. And these are looking after our kids' mental and safe well-being. I look at it in my era, we had a lot of elders, and a lot of the elders had respect and had morals. You couldn't hit a woman, you couldn't rape a woman, you couldn't beat up and stab an old person, you couldn't burgle houses. But now, when they took all us off the street and all the older ones, they were left with a vacuum. And these kids, they had no guidance. So now these kids, they got no respect for nobody. So Manchester's just picking up where it left off with us.
Matthew continues to push his message in communities and schools. Although he's the next gangster, he now uses his experiences to inspire people to a better life and to make better choices. On the first day I began filming, Lee, not a 45-year-old man from Wythenshawe, was attacked and killed with a knife. The man charged with his murder was just 19 years old. Further details had yet to surface as the knife attack becomes another step towards the UK's worst year on record. Friends of Lee described him as a great person who would do anything for anybody. In one senseless moment, he lost his life to a knife, and his family's lives had now changed forever.
Manchester recorded 1,953 knife-related incidents in 2018. 2019 shot up to a massive 3,700.
A criminologist from the University of Salford, Dr. Anthony Ellis, told me why he believed knife crime was on the rise.
I think it's very difficult to identify one particular thing that's behind it. I think that there isn't a kind of an easy answer or an easy solution to the issue. I think there's a multitude.
Could it have anything to do with bringing in a bunch of military-aged men from war-torn regions? It could have anything to do with your native black population exploding?
You want to know something unique? UK drill, I don't even know if they still do that. Some of the rappers that came into that scene are from what you're talking about.
No, well, what do you mean? What I'm talking about? From what?
The people coming out, you're saying that they're war age or something like that, coming from those countries. Yeah. They've actually got into the UK drill scene, but again, I haven't kept up on it. But that is something I did notice.
A confluence of different things that are going on that lead to this happening.
Sadly, it wasn't long until the next incident would take place, not far from where Lee Knott lost his life.
So I just arrived in Moston on the other side of Manchester. It's only the second day of filming, and we've already witnessed 2 knife-related incidents.
I was informed by a resident that a man was left lying on the floor after a dispute broke out between 2 vehicles.
That's brutal.
In the year ending 2018, there were 285 homicides on the streets of the UK. 1 in 4 of the victims were men aged 18 to 24. It had been a strange start in Manchester. After visiting 2 major incidents in 2 days alone, the realism of the situation had really started to sink in.
So this is where Tommy Bilton unfortunately lost his life at 19 years old. We're in Oldham town centre at the moment. Today I'm going to be speaking with his mum and dad to hear his story.
He doesn't go away, never goes away, it doesn't get any easier. We was in bed and we got a knock on the door and I said, oh, he's lost his key again, because Tommy always lost his key. And this young girl, she said, Tommy's been stabbed.
So he went to the party and there was some trouble at the door as he was going in, and this lad come running down with 2 knives and stabbed the lad through the back.
And then
chased Tommy up the street, and when Tommy turned round, he'd stabbed Tommy. Well, we thought he was going to be alright, because he died when he got to the hospital. They brought him back and we thought, oh yeah, he's alive.
He trained. They brought him back and I denied him.
Yo, is that someone on the panel? That
yes, Ark. He had all of his hand and
he's like, this shit is boring.
It was just full of blood all over him, the clothing, the bedding.
Oh, well, he did yawn like an hour ago.
It was so cold. It was so cold. And
are you back with us, Ag?
I know this article is probably not interesting to you. You're probably thinking, what is this boring ass segment I'm watching?
Oh, no, well.
Yeah, Lewisham, man. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't stay there again. But I was pretty much looking for a spot
that was complete. Did you have friends there?
No. I wanted to stay somewhere where I was close to public transportation. So Hither Green Station, where it was easy walk from where I stayed at. I was like, okay. It was not even, I think it was only a quarter mile away from the station. So I just wanted easy access
No.
to get into the city
You
center.
need to do central or west. Central
Right.
or
Okay.
west. Yeah.
Yeah.
The W sides. Once you start doing like S London and N or E, the W is the best postcodes.
I hear you. Yeah, I was in I think it was in SE17 or something like that.
Yeah, Southeast is a no.
Yeah.
GBN News. I mean,
is that Great Britain? That sounds like Great Britain news.
Yeah, Great Britain News.
Yeah,
I think they're 3 years old now.
This is the worst ever asylum seeker crime case in Britain. The Abidi family were granted asylum after they left Libya. They moved to Fallowfield in Manchester. Salman Abidi had travelled back and forth to Libya to fight against Gaddafi. It is believed he then joined ISIS. He made a bomb and detonated it in Manchester Arena, which was full of kids attending an Ariana Grande concert.
Oh, I heard about that.
Getting rid of Gaddafi was one of the most horrible things.
22 people died, 1,017 others were injured. So 2 days later, his father, Ramadan Abidi, appeared on the media saying that his son didn't do it and that this was some kind of security services plot to demonize young Libyan men.
وأعتقد أن سلمان لا يفعل هذا العمل بل هناك أيدي خفية من وراء هذا العمل أجهزة أمنية لفعل شيء في الجالية الليبية بالذات خاصة فئة الشباب اللي هناك.
So for those listening on radio, that was the father of the Manchester Arena bomber saying that he believes his son was stitched up and he was in fact an innocent man. Then it emerged that one of his brothers, Hashem Abidi, helped to build the bomb. So Hashem was sentenced to life in prison. He then attacked prison guards in Belmarsh and was moved to a supposedly more secure unit at HMP Franklin. Well, over the weekend, he is alleged to have attacked prison guards again, using what we believe anyway was boiling hot melted butter and makeshift knives. How was he allowed access to weapons in the kitchen? He was convicted of 22 murders. He's a terrorist. He's offended behind bars before. How was that allowed? Well, could it be because of this? Reports came out today that Islamist gangs are now running Britain's prisons, using violence and threats to overpower high security facilities. The authorities are apparently unable to stop them. But believe it or not, this gets worse. Because there is another brother, another Abidi. He's called Ishmael. Now, Ishmael was due to give evidence at the Manchester Arena inquiry, but then it turned out that we'd just lost him. Yeah, that's right. He fled the country. No idea where he is. Gone. Where are his parents now? Well, it appears that Ramadan and Samia Abidi have just moved back to Libya. Yeah, the same country that they sought asylum from. And the icing on top of this particular cake is that we were paying their benefits the whole time that they were in Britain, it seems. We paid £17,000 to the mother of the Manchester Arena bomber in benefits after she'd left Britain, and it was her debit card, reportedly, that was used to help buy ingredients for the bomb. So essentially, British taxpayers paid for the bomb. Yeah.
Us blokes hate talking about a little
Did you not see the $2,500 a month? They just glossed over that one, or not dollars, but pounds.
Well, no, because it's standard. Those are like standard benefit payments, which is why everyone is trying to cross the channel to get to us.
Oh my goodness! See, they need to stop offering these incentives. Same thing in the US too.
Because you can get housing benefit, child tax credits are literally being paid for every child you have. Child tax credit. I think you get marriage credits. It literally adds up.
Now I understand why there are people like a Tommy Robinson in that country. I'm now starting to. And what is the other? I'm trying to think.
Nigel Farage, he's politician.
Yeah, Richard Spencer's U.S. But yeah, I'm starting to understand. Like before, I'm like, yeah, these guys are extremists, they're nationalists and stuff. And I don't see, I'm starting to be able to distinguish the difference between a supremacist and a nationalist. A nationalist means they just kind of just want their own sovereign country and stuff like that.
I'd say they should be supremacist. Why shouldn't they?
Well, it means you're better than everybody else.
But they built the system we all live in.
But
I mean-
okay, yeah, they built the system. They built this, but why are white people wringing their hands over whether it was a nationalist or supremacist? Like, it's just weird, man. Like this is just weird.
It's like in anything we do, we're always taught, oh, you have to think you're the best, try and be the best, or just, have the internal conviction that you are the most dominant, you're the most awesome, you can do anything. But suddenly with gliders, it's like, no, you can't think you're the best. Oh no, don't allow yourself. You watch tigers and desert demons and everyone else think they're the best, but you have no right to think the same. No, if you think you're the best, be the best. Like you guys are the best. If you
Pantheon, I
want
want
to
to
feel you're
build
the
off of
best,
what
be
you're
it.
saying. Like, well, aren't gliders the best? I mean, how come you guys want to come to our countries? 95% of all the inventions that we use are made by gliders.
Of course.
Like,
So that's why everyone wants to use them and come.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Would you want to be in Syria with bombs, or would you want to be in the UK where you just get an Amazon package? The women can drive, you can go on public transport, you can do anything. You want a free and simple and easy life. That is why everyone wants to come to white glider Western countries.
But they don't realize that they're only going to turn it into the countries that they're actually coming from. That's what people don't understand.
It's more serious than that, though. It's just deliberate. This is how leaders destroying us.
I noticed that with Sweden.
Welcome back. Britain is becoming an anti-white country. Anti-white racism is on the rise. It's okay to call a police officer stupid and white, as Chelsea footballer Sam Kerr did.
Honestly, you guys are stupid and white.
Okay.
I'm looking you in the eyes. I'm looking you in the eyes. Like that I'm stupid.
It's okay to ban white people from applying for certain jobs. We've seen it at the BBC and other places. Only ethnic minorities could apply for a job on Springwatch, for example, amongst other roles. The Royal Air Force unlawfully discriminated against white men. They banned them from becoming pilots. 2 weeks ago, Westminster Council made employees take a white privilege test, which gave you a score of plus 15 if you happen to be, you guessed it, a white man. Well, last week, we got West Yorkshire Police blocking white people from applying to be police officers in a bid to boost diversity. Then today, two big stories emerged. The Welsh Labour government wants Wales to become an anti-racist nation by 2030. I mean, how are they going to go about doing that, eh? Are they giving ethnic minority student teachers £5,000 more? That is racism. The 2021 census found that 93.8% of the Welsh population identified as white, just FYI. Then there's this. The NHS is now racist. One of the big arguments for mass immigration is, look how many ethnic minorities work in our beloved NHS. And that's great. Thank you very much for everybody who works in the NHS. But now it turns out that the NHS has been discriminating against white people by bumping black and other ethnic minority candidates to the top of the job interview lists. In some cases, NHS managers have had to justify why they've hired white people. Just let that sink in. You go to a meeting and you have to justify why you've hired a white person, okay? You don't solve racism with more racism. In fact, it makes it worse. Do we want a society where white people, especially straight white men, have to be twice as good as ethnic minority candidates just to get a job? Do we really want ethnic minorities feeling like they've only got a job because of the colour of their skin rather than the content of their characters or their genuine quality? I don't think there's a big problem with racism in Britain. I just don't. I don't think that loads of white people are racist. I do think that the Pakistani rape gangs were racist. I think they targeted young white girls because they thought that they were lesser than girls from their own community. But even if people do think loads of white people are racist, Do you not think that being racist towards them, blocking them from applying for certain jobs, denying them career progression, or paying them less than their black or brown counterparts might actually make them a bit more racist? I think it's completely self-defeating. Let's whiz ourselves over, get the thoughts of my panel.
Us blokes hate talking about a little thinning up top, and many of us settle.
Hey, Ak. Actually, no, sorry, not Ak. Pantheon. What are GIBs or GIBS? I noticed that was typed in. I'm going to assume those are benefits. GIBs.
I'm not too sure. JIBS. I
No,
feel like I've heard the word,
GIBS.
but I'm not too sure.
Well, someone in the chat said they don't care. Or let me see. It said they just want the jibs. They don't care about it. It sounds like benefits.
Good in bed.
Oh, good. Oh, thank you. Oh, that's interesting.
But this just goes to show you how fucking unintelligent these people are. Like, they come over here and then they want free benefits and all that stuff, but who pays for the benefits? The native people. Then they want to claim that they want to exterminate the native people or make them minorities. These people obviously have no...
I put some clips in the back chat, Ak.
Oh, Gibbs, give me that. Gives me.
You see what I'm saying, Pantheon?
Yeah.
Huh?
No, it's but for me again, it's just the gliders who facilitated it. I'm just like, why hate you?
Some people
Why
are going to hate what I'm going to
import
say. Not here, though, but Poland. I'm actually impressed with how Poland has been able to stop the immigration flood into their country. I've seen some short clips on that. So
they have, but
big up
again,
to the prime minister.
But again, which which any country would do. Like a lot of their men came to the UK and did like a 10+ year stint working and have taken the money back to Poland.
Mm.
And then same thing for other European countries. Yeah, probably 20 years, kind of since 2004, when they were let in the Schengen zone.
Yeah, because what I noticed like recently, I don't know the prime minister's name, but yeah,
Keir Starmer.
Keir Starmer.
Keir, K-I-E-R, Keir Starmer.
Oh, Keir Starmer. Yeah, like I like what he's doing.
No.
But no, to keep out the illegal immigration, or at least he's trying to keep them out.
He hasn't tried anything.
He's talking about Poland. He's talking about Poland.
Poland.
Oh, sorry. Keir Starmer's the British Prime Minister. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
No.
I
Poland. Yeah, I was talking about Poland on how they've been able to keep out. I hate to say it, but it seems to be mostly people of Arabic origin out of their country. That's what it seems like. I don't know if it's all of them, but
yeah, no. It's he. I think he flat out said, no desert demons.
Oh dang! He really wait. That's right. Now I just remembered. What are they called? Sand sons? What do you call them? Because I know you got different terminology. They're sand sons, right?
I coined the term desert demons, which Ak has adopted, which I appreciate.
Okay, I'll start calling them. So desert demons. That's interesting. I know I've heard a few people call them mud slime. Mud
slime's good.
I don't know who called them that, but I did hear someone call them that. But desert demon's interesting. I know someone said sand sun, but desert demon I think is more cat. Yeah, I'll go with that. Oh, sand N-word. Oh man. Yeah, no, I'm not using that.
Sandman, yeah. They're different, man. They have a different DNA, a different mind. They always going to come out. You're always going to get different outcomes when you have them in a place than you have other people in the place. You put them in the same place, rivers and all types of arable land, all types of, what do they say, like natural resources.
Mm-hmm.
And they're gonna do the same thing. They're gonna keep the society very primitive. They don't like appreciate learning and explore. The only thing they really explore to is to explore to exploit and explore to enslave. They don't invent things. They don't make things. They just I don't know. It's just weird, man, that people bring them into their countries. I would never, if I had a country, I would never bring any of them into my country.
It's the worst ones that are coming. The worst ones.
Because
I don't really consider any of them like good ones, but yeah, it's definitely the worst ones.
Well, if you look at United Arab Emirates, they've got a very low crime rate. They don't tolerate that sort of nonsense there. Saudi Arabia too.
What about Turkey? Like I've heard good things about Turkey, even though it's
Turkey used
controlled.
to be well, weren't they majority Christian or something?
Turkey was? Oh
It had a
that's
big
right. They were
Christian,
Eastern Orthodox.
Yeah, and then gradually the Desert Demon ideology has infiltrated. So now they ostracize Christians and Orthodox. So I don't like Turkey either, but hey.
I considered visiting Morocco, but I know that is also Islamic control, but I didn't hear anything bad about what's going on over there too much.
2 fucking glider girls just got their heads cut off over there.
That was
dude.
in Morocco. That was in Morocco, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And matter of fact, I did see that clip, and that was hard to watch.
Oh, you saw the clip of?
Yeah, that was hard to watch, bro.
Oh, you can see the actual beheading.
Yes, it was on. It was on World Watch, but they might have taken it down. Which used to be Live Leak. Yeah, I saw it. They used a dull knife or a dull machete or something, and yeah, that was mad. But it only showed the clip of one getting. Yeah, it didn't show the other one.
I've got a beheading video. I uploaded it to the archive, but I deleted it. I've got the archive link though if you want it.
No, I'll pass, but thanks.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
Morocco.
And that's another thing as well. Like I do understand obviously wanting to travel. I've traveled solo. It does happen. But I would never travel solo to like a desert demon like there's nothing. Like what humanity are you trying to see where you especially as a glider girl would go to a desert demon country?
Like for me, if I go to like Morocco, like I want to hit 3 countries. Like I want to hit Morocco, then Spain, then Portugal.
Oh yeah, I mean you're doing regional, but you're also a man. But you just mentioned like 2 white girls got beheaded in a desert demon country. Like why?
What did they get beheaded for? What were they charged with? What were they charged with?
Oh, you're talking about the offenders?
No, what were the girls beheaded for? What was the charge that they got beheaded for?
Oh, that's right. I don't even know what the motivation was.
Can you add that link in the back?
Go ahead. Somebody put the link to the
I have lots of IG clips in the back.
I don't have it. I don't have the link to those girls being beheaded, but I've seen a person beheaded before. Yeah, it's not pretty because you have to cut the head off. Like you have to cut somebody's head off. Like it's a tough thing, man. I mean, it's not easy to cut somebody's head off, but yeah. I feel bad for the person who has to do it too, because it's like you got to really. It's a tough job. So no, but I'm just joking. But seriously though, yeah, they is the international community speaking out about what happened to those white girls, or is it just nothing?
I never heard anything about it.
Did that happen recently or a long time ago?
I think it was a few years ago.
Oh, okay.
That's why I kind of forgot about it. I also forgot it was in Morocco.
No, I've been to Tunisia like a few times.
Oh,
and that was before the Arab Spring, so obviously it was different. But yeah, I have zero desire to go to desert demon countries.
I've never been to Tunisia, but I did make a shakshuka. That was fire. That was a fire dish.
Yeah. salute to everybody out there, man. Looks like
And salute to your channel. You are doing God's work.
Yeah, you're a gift from them. Seriously.
Yeah, make sure y'all support the channel, man. Support the channel via PayPal, Cash App, or the Super Chat. Hit the like button. I did want to see one more thing, man.
That guy's got an interesting note in the chat. If I wear
I'll be right back. Going straight to the Ralph Lauren.
I want to return something. I got it from here. My aunt got it from here, but she didn't leave a
I have no idea where she got it from. So
Yeah.
they don't carry these.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Oh, maybe it's a different department.
Well, we don't carry it
At
The
all?
boys does upstairs. I don't know if it's a boy's size.
I think so.
Because we don't carry this at all.
Maybe I'll take it upstairs and see if she got it.
I remember a long time ago, you didn't need a receipt to return stuff at Nordstrom's.
Is she going to have it in stock when the glider comes?
It's really smart.
Oh, they're trying to do a social experiment.
Yeah.
Tell us where she got it from.
To try to get a, what do they call it, a gotcha moment.
Shopping while black.
But I do remember, yeah, a long time ago, you didn't need a receipt. They'll still take a return, or at least Nordstrom's will.
Yeah, that's odd. I collect a receipt for everything.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you can't do that over there now. But yeah, they used to, yep.
Huh?
Yep, Amanda is speaking facts. They used to pride themselves on not requiring a receipt. Yes, that policy has changed.
Oh, boys.
But also, isn't this experiment obvious? Because if it's 1992, they obviously have a massive camcorder.
Oh, of course.
He's not exactly holding a small mobile phone, is he? He's holding a massive camcorder and following this guy around.
If this was in LA, it would have been a bad look because there was a lot of racial tension going on over there, and especially during the riots. So, like, really, why are they trying to do this social experiment at that time?
Yeah, I didn't know where that was going. I was trying to see what the fuck that was going on. Okay, so that's basically just gonna walk around like that and do that stupid shit. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. It's a horrible idea. I mean, a horrible way to show that black people are being racist against by the system.
I also noticed I used to live in East Oakland, and I noticed anytime they see what they would call a snow bunny, and when a snow bunny curves them, they start to use what they call, no, they don't call it, but what I see as white guilt against them to try, to get into their pants. I do notice that.
Oh wow! Yeah, like what? Like you don't like black guys or something like that?
Yeah, they do that. Yeah.
That works. But that works because that's
My
very
home-
woke. That probably works in the woke
My
area.
homeboy,
Like,
my homeboy did that at
Yep.
the time. I was like, dude, you ain't got to do that. You're half white.
Son's gonna do anything to get some.
yeah, definitely.
It's not uncommon.
Yeah, that's crazy. If that works though, if you can get sympathy as from white girls, that's amazing. I ain't gonna lie, that would be amazing.
It works for some. I don't know.
Wow,
I still
that's
think,
crazy.
you still got, you still just, this is uncomfortable. Yeah, I know it's a very uncomfortable subject there, Pinky.
Yeah, man.
Pretty soon they're gonna say dire wolves are racist. Shout out to the dire wolves.
Yeah, man. Any final thoughts, guys?
Yes, Alexander, reduce your sympathy for certain criminals. In fact, all criminals. I
Not
would
so
say.
much sympathy. I'm just being realistic.
Nah, yeah, the realistic aspect is they don't deserve sympathy. And certain people, after a while, it's obvious they have zero redemption in them.
So my final thoughts to the gliders in the chat: if Ox says something that you don't agree on, don't pile on him like Nick Fuentes and all those weirdos did to Tommy Sotomayor.
What do you mean?
Oh, you didn't see when they had the little live stream on Rumble? It was a long. I don't know. I think it was about a month ago or something. They gave. I'm going to use a terminology that I recently learned. They gave him a wake up call. Or
man.
So you gliders in the
I ain't
chat,
about
don't be
that.
doing that to Ock.
I've been doing this so long, man. Like I don't even care about that stuff. What's right is right. What's wrong is wrong. Same black time, same black channel. Out of here. Subscribe.
One.
Bye.
So